Liz, you want to know how much money I have?
Millions.
Millions of billions.
Hundreds of millions? I don't know.
Nah, 10.4 million.
Jeez.
I think that was my goal. I was like, when I hit 10, I'll just stop because I can't imagine ever needing any more. Let's see how much expanded storage. Oh, it's only 500,000?
500,000.
Yay, I'm buried in my new money tree.
500.
500,000.
My other money tree is a very little buddy.
Yep.
I don't know how many days the trees take to grow, but...
I think it's 4. So the trick is you just plant one every day right next to the other ones, and then you have like a line that you can just harvest every day and then plant a new one.
Oh. Clever.
I mean, or you could plant like 5 a day if you wanted to. Or I guess, could you? Maybe not. Yeah, I think you can just do 1 a day. I don't know how I got so many.
You just didn't... I got a melting pole! I'm assuming you just didn't collect them, because you get the option to do one every day.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The beach is so big now.
Got that big beach.
I can collect so many seashells to sell.
What a beach.
I find that there's not a lot to do at night, and it's sad. This game was not made for people who do not have normal sleep schedules.
You gotta log in
Yeah,
with
it's
your
different
time
fish.
zone. Just change your time zone, Liz.
I know, but it feels like cheating.
Well, it's not
It
if you
is true,
if
yeah.
you always play at night more than anything, then it just makes sense to change your time zone.
I guess so.
Like, assuming you always like, if you play on at random times, then technically, yeah, it's cheating. But
It's not the same as like the people that like put their phone on like a thing that moves it up and down to evolve their Pokemon in Pokemon Go.
wow.
To hatch eggs, you need to walk them a certain amount of distance. So people just like put their phones on a thing. So like at the beginning, people were putting them on like fans, so it would like make it think that it's moving.
Wow. Kind of defeats the purpose of the game, isn't it? Isn't the whole point just to, like, get exercise?
Yeah.
No, the whole point is to get Pokemon, Corey.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Gotta catch them all.
Really bugs me that the ads I see for Pokemon Go use graphics that are better than the Pokemon Go graphics. So they make...
Yeah.
So you look at it and go, wow, this game's really come a long way. And then you actually see the actual in-game, and I'm like, oh. Why doesn't it look like the other one?
It's a mobile game. They have to use fake graphics.
Yes, I guess that's true. Can't show the actual game or nobody want to buy it.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
what's that game that they always show everywhere? Like, constantly.
Raid Shadow Legend.
Yes, that's the one. They put they put a lot of effort into the ads and everything, but the game itself doesn't. I don't know. I remember when
What?
cell phones first came out, and everyone was like, "Wow, look at this technology in the palm of our hands! Like, this will be the next big thing, and everyone will be playing these awesome mobile games on the go and all this." And then they all turned into like garbage. Like,
Back
Hey,
in my day,
There's still the occasional mobile game gem.
is there?
other than Pokemon Go, I don't play any mobile games at all.
I hate mobile games.
What about Genshin Impact? I keep seeing that everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's a
that's
free to play MMO that's like Breath of the Wild. Everyone's crazy about it.
yeah.
Or just
Apparently,
people crazy.
Diablo Immortal is like awesome.
Really good.
Yeah, I was surprised actually. I was watching some people on Twitch play it, and I was like, okay. I was mocking this, but this actually doesn't look too bad. I will never get it because I can't play on those tiny little screens. I just can't do it.
I just
But
don't see the point. It kills your phone usually. And,
well, that's the other thing too. Your battery drains in like an hour,
yeah,
tops.
like if you're out and about, you're not gaming.
Well, you're not
Right.
gaming.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
People
I
people
mean,
that
I have-
commute and have like
Well-
a commute to work on like a bus or a train that takes them like half hour, I can definitely
they-
see.
They got
Yeah.
those new battery packs too that you like or whatever, those portable ones that you can just
Oh,
change
yeah.
over. or
I
whatever.
got one of those
Those
right
things
here, in
are-
fact.
Those things are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when I used to go into the office, my phone was just plugged in next to my computer all day too. So it didn't matter if I drained the battery in the commute.
And you could, think about it like
But if you're hunting
people might
Pokemon,
use their phone as a handheld gaming console.
Not everybody has good TV.
don't you people have phones?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, no.
I'm just sitting on my couch, and instead of playing a Nintendo DS or 3DS, whatever, or a Switch, I'm playing a video game on my phone, and I can have it plugged in if I needed to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Amanda plays bricks and balls or whatever the hell it is, like 23 hours a day. So
You basically have to buy a special cord though too, because they never give you a cord that's like can reach any plug normally. It's like, oh, you want a cord? Here's a 2.5 foot one. Like you plug it in, you gotta be sitting right at the outlet. It's like, ah. I got one now because my cats decided to chew on my first charger cord when I first got it. So now I got one that's like 5 feet long. They're like, "Do you want a 10-foot one?" I'm like, "No, no, no. I'll end up strangling myself with that." That's too much.
You should get a threaded one.
yeah,
Use
Yeah.
them, they're great. They'll never get chewed through.
Well, that or wireless, or
Yeah, you can do wireless.
actually, wireless don't fast charge though. I don't think
No.
so.
It's also wireless charging is also like very wasteful
Location.
in terms of energy. Takes like way more to actually charge your phone than it would if you plugged it into the wall.
Well, I've tried without using a
I like it.
the special adapter, which it enables the fast charge. So I've plugged in my phone into my car with just the USB, and it's painfully slow. It's like usually you can at least maintain a charge, but no, it's losing charge. It's like, what the heck?
oh yeah, that's the same actually. If me and Amanda are on a road trip, if we're playing music or podcasts or whatever, and then also using Google Maps or whatever, yeah, even if it's plugged in, the battery still drains. It doesn't charge faster than it uses it, at least for ours.
It's because the special, like the whole fast charge is in the adapter that plugs in the wall. And if you use one that's not made for your phone specifically, it won't work as well, usually.
It's true.
I've used 2 Samsung ones and it didn't, well, maybe one was older to be fair, but so I can't say for certain, but it's a good grift, I tell you. They got us by the
Cords.
short and curlies. Cords, otherwise, yes, short and curlies. But I'm in the same boat. I mean, I see the appeal of the games on phones, but at the same time, it's just I don't need to strain my eyes anymore.
Sure you do.
I have a tablet, but that gets heavy after a while.
I bet someone's made like
a little
panel they can put in front of the phone that like clips onto it that magnifies it.
Actually, isn't there something like that? Or
I'm sure it exists.
Yeah.
Or
Or
if
use
I had one of those for
Google Cardboard.
Or if you use those little binocular things for painting your minis, you can use that as well.
Yeah, that wouldn't give you a headache.
I'm not saying it's a great solution. If anything, you might liquefy your brain, but hey.
But hey,
You know, it might just make the world seem better.
So,
The madness.
you guys want to
Walk
some
around the
D&D?
city some more? Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta go get that writ from the Flaming Fist.
Wow.
Yeah,
If we make our way out that way.
it's super
Or we-
important.
I think we should just go do another bathhouse episode. Then maybe go to the beach.
Somebody's obsessed with the bathhouse.
Might as well. I mean, we wouldn't want to
I am a
not
celebrity
get
now.
value out of this Port Zaru ambient track. Need to get at least 10 episodes worth, otherwise.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Port
I might miss the
Road.
chicken.
He's coming.
Oh, the
There'll be
chicken's
chickens
coming
in the
with us.
jungle.
Can we bring a chicken with us? Just so we have an excuse to have this.
It's just the new Raptor. Oh, I figured out a new name for our team. If we ever go back in there, we could be the Raptors Talons.
The Raptalians.
The Reptilians. We're the Reptilians. One of us.
Lizard people.
I mean, let's just call ourselves the auntie. Fine.
We're not the Yanti. Definitely not the Yanti.
Yanti.
That's our name.
But the cool
Definitely
one.
not the auntie.
Don't get mad at us.
That's actually the best name right there. Definitely not the Yanti.
Trust us. I'm for real.
How to persuade people you're not suspicious. I'm not suspicious. He's not suspicious. He says so.
Jedi mind tricks.
Well, we got the charisma party this time around.
Well, I mean, yeah, you guys have like 2 12s in the party. That's pretty good.
Yeah. We're oozing charisma.
Last campaign, we had like 3 people with like 20 charisma or something.
Me.
People just loved you guys. Except for the bad guys, they hated you.
Yeah.
We
couldn't help
We're
but
with
love
the new world. We're like, we don't need personality. They're a bunch of savages there. It's perfectly reasonable.
It's like I thought this was a jungle campaign, not a city campaign.
I let my food do the talking for me. All right, I guess I could join the call with my camera.
So, are you still like after the few battles that we've had, tireless? You don't feel it's still like overpowered? Like I just watched your Tasha's or whatever. Whenever you were worried about it, so
I was worried about it, but I'm not.
Yeah, okay. And in the end, I don't think it was that big of a deal, but
No.
you didn't really say much afterwards. But I just finally watched it, and then you're kind of like you had some like
Reservation.
maybe, yeah, reservations. That's the word I was looking for. That's too many syllables for me. Thank you. But I mean, to be honest, the skill one is actually super good, really low level when you think about it.
That's actually, I thought about that too. I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter because even if I push Tireless up, he gets the other really good one instead. So,
well, and you know, what sucks, then you have to take unless you allow the languages to come later.
no,
Because,
never, no. Pick them now.
No, you got it now. Yeah, they just pop in your head.
Yeah.
Andre, like my hoodie?
Nice hoodie.
Cameras are randomly to the left a little bit.
Thanks, Discord.
God damn
Yeah,
it.
that's how they had a big update.
Ah, well,
Actually,
whatever.
Everything shifted 10 pixels.
10 pixels over. Like, that's literally the patch notes. We fucked with the cameras, because screw you.
We found this pin warper guy who had everything set up, so we fucked with him again.
It was perfect, and now it's not. Newest version. Cool. Okay, let's play. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to Magic Missile...
Take two.
Let me just, syllabus.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, here we go.
The Human Torch was
Oh,
denied.
Brad. Hold on.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have like 10 recordings. Okay, here we go. Hello, and welcome to Magic Mythal, Tomb of Annihilation, our 5th edition D&D campaign, episode 8. We live stream games every Sunday night starting at 4 p.m. Pacific time here on Twitch, and you can catch up on weekly sessions posted up on YouTube, youtube.com/pinwarp. My name is Corey, Pinwarp2 here on Twitch. I will be running game as DM, and I am joined by my players, Andre, playing Aelon the Aesmar Monk, Liz playing Archie, Aesmar Wizard, Brad playing Baz, Loxodon Fighter, Ryan playing Blackwind, Half-Orc Ranger, and John playing Jonah, Gnome, Artificer. That's it.
One more time.
No, it's good. It's all good. Here we are. So, last time on Magic Mythal, you guys went to the bathhouse, you returned to Gem, you talked to a bunch of NPCs, did some shopping and some cooking, and you tracked down some leads. What else did you guys do? Help me out here.
Had a bath.
We went.
We had a nice dinner with our people
Oh,
who
yeah.
we're going to take the jungle with.
Yeah, you planned thoroughly your expedition?
I
Yeah.
explored tattooing.
Oh, right.
Apprenticeship.
Oh yeah,
Went
you
to
spent...
the Temple of Gond.
Yeah, you guys spent a lot of time looking into crafting stuff. You dropped your raptor egg off.
Yep, and then we went and talked to.
Screaming Wind. Or
Yeah.
is that where you were going?
Yes, and
Okay.
met some curious creatures.
Yes, when we last left you guys, you were out at the very edge of Malar's throat, in front of Screaming Wind's house. The last building on the left, before entering the jungle thicket. And there was a strange bipedal frogman, which you correctly identified as a grung. And they were standing there waiting for you, and that's where we ended the last session.
A grung with all his toes.
He's missing one toe
Not for long.
as he stares at Baz intently.
He knows.
They just know.
Yeah,
Did you smell
Screaming
it?
Wind had sent you a message, I think, because she had looked into that satchel shop and
Yeah.
found out some information, and she told you to come out and meet her because she had met someone at the satchel shop that had some information for you, but she couldn't bring them into the city. And now you have an inkling as to why. You don't imagine these strange frog creatures would just be acceptable walking around. Yeah, so here you are.
Here we are.
All right, let's go.
We're gonna be hanging out in the city for another few days, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the plan. Yeah, Screaming Wind waves to you as you approach. The strange creature hops off of the balcony, to the ground. Screaming Wind follows, and she greets you. She says, "Ah, good. Glad you could make it." Let's recap here. What time of day was it? I always forget to note this when we end the session, what time of day it is.
So we did like the separate stuff. We came back to the Temple of Gond. We stopped up at Savras, and then we came down here.
Okay, so
I think
it's gotta be like in the afternoon then.
Afternoon.
I think
Yeah,
it's
that was
afternoon.
mid-afternoon.
Wrapping up our final day before heading out.
Yeah.
So let's say let's call it 1 o'clock. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
We made good time.
And it's the 8th of Elteriac.
Yes.
Cool. Even though they give me a tool to oh, it doesn't work. Really? It doesn't work. Can't change the time on the calendar. Awesome. Okay, good job, Fantasy Grounds. Okay, so yeah, so they greet you, and what do you guys do?
Hello, Screaming Wind.
Come down with the creature. They're both down on the ground.
They're
We're
both
just
down on the
staring.
ground.
We're just staring at the frog people that were staring back at Baz.
Having
Just
like a
awkward.
little bit of like a kind of an acid reflux kind of thing happening in my throat a little bit.
I presume this is Wadumu.
And the creature kind of makes almost like a ribbiting sound, and is like, he says very kind of, it's pretty difficult to understand, but he's kind of points at you, and then he points at his chest, and he says, "Yes, Adumu,
Adumu?
Wadumu."
Wadu.
And he says, "I come jungle. I help friend. Wadumu nice."
What? So you say you had information that might help?
And he nods. He's like, "Wadumu wise. Wadumu knows jungle. Wadumu knows evil."
All right.
So just to make sure that Brad is clear, because Screaming Wind is who we found out had information about the leather satchel that was being held by the person.
The Yanti.
The Yanti. Got it. Okay. And Screaming Wind didn't come to greet us, but only Adomo did?
No, they're both here. We're at Screaming Wind's house
okay.
right now.
Okay.
She sent us a note saying that she found some information and to come and see her.
Gotcha.
Well, no,
So
she
that's
actually she came by the inn and asked you to come out to her house because she had someone she wanted you to meet.
Who couldn't come into the city?
Yeah.
Hello. I'm Baz. I guess we were told to come here to talk about this leather satchel that we found.
He nods, and he's like, "Wadumu no satchel. Wadumu watch. Snake people. Steal into city. Bad medicine."
The
Very much.
the blue stuff. Did we ever figure out exactly what
The wonder stuff?
It was
Yes. Yep. It is the performance enhancer, also with some fungal natural material that we think is coming from the Grove.
Right.
That's
Okay.
a little bit west of the city.
Half a day or something like that?
When you talked to the alchemist about the extra material that was in it, was they didn't know what it was, right?
They knew it was organic in
Organic.
nature, and it
Okay.
said, I believe, reminded him of the stuff. I think our lead is that it's coming from the grove out in the city, or west of the city.
Yeah, it definitely collaborates that for sure.
Screaming Wind kind of points and says, it's like, Wadumu, tell them what you told me about the grove. And Wadumu is like, yes, grove, overgrown, evil plant men, multiplying. And he kind of like seems to be searching for words. He's like, Grudge Gill, leader have dream, bad dream, snake people. Now Grudge Gill worship snake people. And then he points at himself. He's like, but me no worship, so me had to leave.
Oh.
So
How long ago
works the
did you have
plan.
to leave?
He's like, and then he kind of like seems to be searching for the right like words, but he's kind of like, three moon cycle.
Hmm.
Like full moon cycles.
And he kind of like nods, like, yeah.
So
He's like,
a little
snake people take village, force, and he kind of like looks around as if he's trying to find somebody to like point to, but none of you match the description, so he like points off to like some of the random like Chelton people down the street. He's like, force peoples, work for them.
Oh.
So the Auntie have come in and taken over your town and are enslaving people.
He nods. It's like, yes, dig in grove with plant people. Do mixing.
Plant people.
Can you describe these plant people? Is this
And
like...
he kind of like crouches down and like sticks his hands up in the air and kind of waves them a bit.
Oscar the Grouches.
I'm gonna cast. I don't know if this will work, but Archie's gonna just cast comprehend languages on herself.
Okay, like as a spell or as you're gonna wait in ritual? Okay.
Spell, just because she doesn't want to wait time, and just ask him to speak in his native tongue to see if she can understand it.
And he kind of cocks his head and he's like, "Would Dumu speak grung?" And he points. He's like, "Lady speak grung?"
Maybe be able to understand. Just try it.
And he's like, "Well, my fair lady."
There you go. And I give him a thumbs up. I'm like, and I tell him I can't speak it, but I can understand it.
He's like, "Well, this is a wonderful development. Much easier than speaking your crude tongue."
Yes. Now you can speak freely, and I will translate for everybody. So.
He's like, "Wonderful." He's like, "Yes, well, as I was trying to say, and I apologize for my lack of eloquence, but the Yonti have taken great efforts to subdue my peoples, and my king, he's not really a king, more of a chieftain. He had a dream one night, said that he dreamed of a great snake goddess, and that she would bring glory to our peoples, and after that he basically told us to abandon our old gods and that we had to follow this new snake god. He's like, well, those that resisted this new effort were exiled, me among them. And he's like, but I came in here, me and Screaming Wind, we've met in the past and we've become a bit of friends, and she told me that of your efforts looking into this strange substance that they seem to be harvesting from the fungi in the grove, not too far south of here.
Well, I'm
He's
very
like,
sorry that happened to you.
It's like, oh, it's all right. My people have long been, well, subject to the whims of the stronger races. This is no different.
Do you think that if like the Yonti at your village were like dealt with, they your what your not family but your
Tribe?
may swap back to their old ways?
He
Do you think
shrugs.
there's something saving them?
He's like, oh, maybe it's hard to say. Uh, the people's perhaps, but I don't know if my chieftain would.
Hmm.
It is
Did
known
this-
that the Yonti have, once they've dug their hooks into you and convinced you of something, sometimes it's difficult to change people's minds on that. But the greater threat, I think, to your peoples, we've been dealing with the Yonti and the lizard folk and others in the jungles for generations. None of this will end here, but the threat to your city and your peoples, you'll find your answers in that grove.
Hmm.
Is there anything that he can tell us about the Yonti that might make it easier for me to track them or recognize them in disguise? Or
No, he doesn't.
no? Okay, just because he's dealt with them for so long, I was hoping.
Well,
that
he
maybe had
hasn't.
some- Oh, okay. There's his people, anyway.
Yeah.
But there's some insider trading information. That's all.
What can he tell us about? Does he know anything about the operations at the Grove? Like,
He knows he would tell you that that some of his people, those loyal to the chieftain, have gone to the grove and haven't returned. And he would tell you that the Yonti he knows, he knows that there's a specific rite that they do, and he kind of points to his skin and lets you know that grung skin secretes a mild poison that can be very toxic to, well, kind of gestures around to everybody around. And then
when he says that, Baz kind of does like a little bit of a burp.
and
not one of the
he says that the Yonti are masters of poison, and he believes that they may be using the grung toxins to enhance or change the fungus in that grove.
The chieftain that had the dream about the snake goddess. Did the snake goddess have a name?
Yeah. Let me find it for a sec.
Sure did.
She sure did.
Yeah, he says that he referred to her as the Venom Queen, and also as Shaskatar.
He mentioned that he had some information about how the Yonti snuck into the city. Does he have any specific details about these ones that did? The one with the satchel?
No. He would tell you, most he knows about Yonti is that some Yonti can very easily hide amongst humans. So, I mean, the gates aren't exactly, it's not like they're checking people as they're going in and out, right?
Do you have any particular information about the Yonti, our particular Yonti in question, the one with the vial, picked up the satchel?
Well, he nods, and he says that essentially he is, since leaving his tribe, he's kind of been on the outskirts of the town here, so he's made friends with the satchel maker, and he was in the shop when this person purchased this particular bag, and he remembers because she was very insistent that she needed a bag that could hold vials of liquid and it wouldn't leak if something spilled inside and all that kind of stuff, which this bag fit the bill. and he remembers her paying in old coins that he hadn't seen before, so it stuck out in his mind. She seemed a little suspicious, so he followed her back and to the entrance of the grove. He was too scared to go in, but she came out not too long later, the bag seemingly laden with something, as it seemed much heavier, and then he didn't follow her into the city, but she left the grove and went to the city.
How long ago was that? Was that just a couple of days ago, like when this happened, the incident happened?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to make sure.
It was so she.
A week.
Yeah, I mean, timeline wise, she would have been only in the city for maybe like a day. Like this was only a couple days ago.
Yeah. I would tell him that following her was very brave, and he should feel good about doing so.
And he's like, well, if I'm ever to become blue, I need to show bravery and leadership.
To become blue, did he say?
Yeah.
Dabba-dee-dabba-da.
You can color?
And he nods and he's like, yes, blue are champions and leaders.
Oh, that's lovely. I apologize for my ignorance. I'm new to the land, and you're kind.
Are there any dangers at the Grove besides the Yanti, obviously, but
And the plant monsters.
yeah, or the plant creatures? Like, what are they exactly? Can he explain them better now that translate to Liz?
He says he's seen them moving about. Some of them are small, short, like him. Like he's only like dwarf size, maybe a little shorter than like a dwarf, a little bigger than a halfling, but he's pretty small. He's probably about the same size as Jonah, actually. Roughly. Gnomes are kind of in between halflings and dwarves, right? But he would say he's seen small creatures that seem to be made of moving like roots. He says they blend in very well with the foliage, very difficult to spot. There are others that are more man-sized, kind of pointing to like Aelin for comparison. And he says those ones look like masses of writhing vines. Again, they can blend in well with natural vines.
Do they shamble?
Kind of like shamble?
Are they wavy inflatable arm guys? Due to growth over ordering.
And you'd say, aside from those, I mean, the normal dangers of the jungle on the way from the city to the grove, he would say that if you, it's about only 3-4 hours outside the city, and he would offer, if you are wanting to go there, he can show you the way. Although he's not interested in entering the grove, at least not.
It's
Well,
Early
one
afternoon.
so we'd get there maybe 5 or 6 and be back.
After dark,
Heading-
the gates would be closed. We'd have to
coming back at
Camp
night.
outside.
See,
Not worth,
coming back.
not worth pursuing today.
So being in Malar's throat at night, I'm not too worried because, like, if we're doing this, Screaming Wind or the temple might be able to put us up. You know, it's having to travel partially through the jungle at night that worries me.
Well, we'll get Jonah to knock on the door and ask if we could stay at the temple.
Or I'll burn you all alive. God.
It's getting back to here, having to travel partially at night because we'd have to get there, do whatever we're doing, and then get back, right? So we would be traveling through part of the jungle at night.
You said that the grove was south of us, correct?
Yes.
The river, do you think we could just do it in the morning tomorrow? And then go west to the river
I don't know.
and meet up with our guide?
Oh, I see.
He would kind of think a little bit, and Um, let me think. Hold on.
You're assuming we get through it unfazed.
Well, well, then we shouldn't do it at all.
Oh,
But,
so you say go a few hours south and then just go straight a few hours west and meet
west,
them on the
and
coast?
then we'd hit the river.
The Yanti seem to be connected to both places, though. Like the potential place that we're going to go scout nearby the camp.
That's true.
So, to be honest, this could be a good starting point to maybe maybe there'll be some kind of intel there. Maybe not. But
As far as like logistically, if you go if you go straight south of the port, I'm just trying to think how you would do that, because you'd have to. It would take you like a day. Yeah, if you went straight south and then depending on how long you spent there, and then went like directly, you'd have to kind of go back like north. The easiest way would be go south and then go back like northwest. So you kind of
Sure.
make like a triangle, right? Because if you go
Yep.
straight west, it's going to be like several days until you actually hit the coast. So you'd have to go like northwest to the closest coast, and that would be about like a half day's travel for someone on a canoe. So the timing of it would have to be like, without knowing exactly where to meet, like she could easily pass you guys, or you guys could, you know what I mean? Like, cause you don't have like a rendezvous point, quote unquote, right?
Yeah,
we
that's
could
right.
we could also just go down there, do our thing, camp for the night, and then come back in the morning and then say, let so Solinda
Salida.
know that we're going to be delaying our voyage by a few hours.
She specifically recommended not doing that because
I know. Yeah, it just means that we won't get as much travel done tomorrow.
I mean,
yeah, and it means we won't be camping in an ideal spot tomorrow.
or we just push back our thing a day,
Or we travel at night.
or we travel back at
I
night.
mean, it's not like the dead of night. I mean, we'd get back what,
Evening.
9?
Yeah, it'd be evening.
Yeah.
It's what, 3 hours? So 4, 7.
Yeah.
Plus an hour.
Sundown's been
8.
around like between 6 and 7, right?
Yeah,
Sun starts
so a couple
going down
hours
around
after
6,
sundown, but not like we're not traveling.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or we wait.
I would rather
or we
travel
just do it when
back
we get
at night
back.
than camp in
Sure.
the jungle all night.
Fair enough.
it's also easier to get lost at night because there's
True, but I mean, there's only 2 directions. If we get lost, we either hit the city, 2 of the rivers, or we're in the deep jungle. So we're free.
Archie would point out
just
she does
around the corner.
compass, so we can like she does have a compass. So
Oh, okay. That
As long
helps.
as we head
long as
north,
as
eventually
long
we'll
as
hit
it
it.
works and there's no like magical interference with it, which she doesn't know this land. There could be. If it works, then at least we could head north and hit water.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you don't get completely lost and head like further south into the jungle, you'll eventually get to a waterway, and then you can follow that.
I have
Yeah.
great navigating skills, guys. Follow me.
You have great navigation.
Never to be heard of again.
I would ask, what's the girl's name again?
The grung's name is Wadumu or Adumu.
Wadumu.
Wadumu.
I would ask Wadumu, like, would he feel comfortable like guiding us back to the city at night through the jungle?
He nods and he says in common, because he's talking to you directly, Baz. He says, if you know see in dark, I help. And he kind of fishes into his bag. He's got like a bag on his back, and he pulls out what looks like a little like carved wooden like owl mask, and he's like, This help?
Oh,
Ooh, what is this?
I love this guy.
I take it and I put it on my big elephant face.
Okay.
Hold on.
It's
Are your eyes on the front of your head or the sides of your head?
In front.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know.
I don't know what elephants
I
look
think
like, apparently.
Baz's eyes are at the front of his head.
sure.
He's a predator.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
He's not prey.
Baz is a killer.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to do
Don't-
anything.
Like, oh, this is great. Thank you.
And he turns to you, Archie, and he's like, could you please tell your Loxodon companion that this mask, while it's of limited use, it can only be used once per day, lasts about an hour, but it will provide near perfect vision in the dark, to a limited range.
She would translate to Baz. Baz, it only works for an hour at night and you only get one use.
Of course, obviously.
Everybody knows that.
You didn't turn into an owl.
It sounds like a cool mask, though.
And he says to you again, Archie, in Grung, he's like, when we're done, I would like that back, but I have no need of it. I can see quite well in the dark.
Okay.
I
We appreciate that.
He's like, I'm trying to make my way and get myself established as a guide, but it's tough because they don't allow my kind inside the city, and therefore I can't get sanctioned by. Is it Joe Ball? Screaming Wind has told
That's
me
the
that
one.
you need to be sanctioned to be a proper guide. But I'm hoping if I lead a few people here and there, word will get around, and perhaps they'll accept me into their ranks.
Well, assuming this goes well, you can count on our support.
I'm sure you have
Just
a
don't-
unique perspective on life in the jungle.
And toes.
I would say to stay away from the map shop if you ever do. come into town.
You
Tuttle
have to go to
toes.
the map shop.
Pretty racist. Speciesist. Racist?
Jesus. Yeah,
And
racist. I think D&D they call it racist.
Humanoid. You know what?
he's like,
Uh,
sorry, go ahead.
so do you guys think we should depart then?
You wanna do it?
We'd probably have to stop and grab our backpacks quick because I don't think we're traveling with them right now.
I am.
I don't have everything. I leave my.
Yeah, I can't imagine Baz would be walking around with all of the shit.
Oh,
I mean, we're not crazy far from it.
here I am with my giant backpack.
Bigger
So
than
you-
Jonah.
It would take you, I mean, if you just like hoof it back and back down, it would probably take you about a half hour to grab your shit and get back out to the end of Mellow's Third again.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Do we? Okay. So are we in agreement? Are we doing this?
I'm in. I think this is a,
We could
it's a twofold, thing. We gain some firsthand experience with the jungle,
Potentially
which is-
take care of
which is
some
good.
of
and
get two birds stoned at once.
and we help out a fine young gentleman who gave us a really cool mask.
the- Loaned us.
Well,
Really
he let.
cool mask.
I would like to help him as well, and I think this will be very beneficial for us.
It
But-
sort of wraps up this initial thing as well before we leave the city for a longer time. We sort of have something we can, report back to Rin.
Ren,
Ren.
Soggy.
Yeah. Soggy Bottom.
We could also get a message ready or prepared for either morning or sent right away saying that we will be out and about maybe.
Well,
Or
hopefully we
be
should be back in the inn by.
Well, okay. How about
Well, not in the inn.
send a note and leave it with Screaming Wind so that if we do not return tonight,
send help.
morning she can take it to deliver it to Sarita and notify her
We did.
to hold off.
And Aelin, you are all right with this?
I mean, I don't agree with it, but I can recognize when I'm in the minority.
What would you rather do?
I'd rather we stick with our plan, do what we're intending to do in the first place, and do this when we come back. But
Well,
I'm
I
here to support.
Yeah, ideally, this
These
shouldn't
could be
affect
linked,
it at all.
potentially. The
What was that,
Yanti.
Baz?
Hmm?
I didn't hear what you said.
I said, ideally, doing this shouldn't affect our plan at all, unless you had something specific that you wanted to do in the city this evening.
Nope. Just expecting the unexpected.
With
And-
the description that he gave of the plant creatures, does it ring a bell at all, or is it pretty rough? Like, might as well be a stick man drawn on a piece of paper.
If you're proficient in nature, you could make a roll, but I would say without seeing him firsthand, the difficulty is going to be a bit higher.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's worth it to try anyways.
Nature.
And I am proficient in it.
Yeah, bring fire.
Oh, not a great one.
Yeah, from the description, it could be any number of mobile plant creatures, so it's hard to say.
Who needs to go back and get their stuff from the inn?
I do.
I do.
Yep.
I would too.
Am I the only one with stuff?
What
I
are you
have
What
one.
I need to rock
I've
and
got
roll at any
essentials.
time?
I have like a side bag with stuff in it. Like I keep my components and my spellbook and all that on me, but my
I don't think.
backpack is not on me.
Yeah, there's nothing in my bag that I need actually. So I'm
Jonas, the scope,
Well,
MacGyver.
my guild is a survivalist guild, so
Yeah.
it would make sense that I would be
You are MacGyver.
He's a
have my
prepper.
go bag with me at all times.
MacGruber.
Have you got torches?
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, then you've got everything I need.
Was Jonah
I think I
in
have
the
some.
Scouts?
Essentially, yeah.
I got rid of 5 of them. I sold them, so I have 5 torches.
That's
I'll give
fine.
them to you.
We
No,
do
no,
need
hang on to
water.
them, just in case we need to burn stuff.
Well,
I guess
and
we do
I
have
would
our
be
water
fine to
skins.
go back to get my bag in.
Yeah, at bare minimum, Baz needs to get his armor. He's not wearing his armor right now.
Yeah.
I
So,
will stay and first I'll ask Screaming Wind if it's all right if we stay here the night, since the gate will be closed when we return. If not, I will go talk to the temple.
Yeah, Screaming Wind would tell you that she doesn't mind. You're doing, like she said, she's just happy someone's finally doing something about this. So she's happy to provide at least a floor to sleep on. She doesn't really have extra beds, but you'll have shelter anyways.
Fair enough.
How long has this been a problem? By the way,
It's like, well, the Grove, Screaming Wind would tell you that attacks from the jungle are all too common, unfortunately. The Grove itself has been a bit of a problem, not with the Yanti. She didn't know any of that before Wadumu let her know. But the Grove itself has been a problem that's, there's been rumors and sightings of various monsters and creatures coming out of there for like a while, ever since the Wanderlust operation was shut down. It's kind of been overgrown, and people who go there, well, sometimes don't return. So it's kind of been one of those like known spots outside the city that is a trouble spot that, again, nobody's just had the wherewithal to take care of so far. So
yeah. I'll stay here with Jonah. I don't mind. There's nothing I need from my bag.
okay.
I would like my bag just because it's got stuff for survival and healing and all that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Archie would go get her bag. She would never leave without all of her stuff.
So we've got somewhat good information on the Yanti. We know what they're kind of capable of. Like, I know we did some kind of nature check and we figured out what they were.
No, you guys did a history check on Yanti.
I did a
history check.
history check on the Yanti.
Yeah, that wasn't any like physical capabilities. You could
I mean,
give me a
they're
nature.
like a race of people, right? So they could be like our party has a spread of abilities. I feel like the Yanti would be the same.
Yeah, you could give me a nature check to see if you know anything about Yanti in general.
Woohoo!
Hey, that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, 17. Yeah, that's enough to know that Yanti, like physically, we're talking like physical capabilities, not their history, like we were talking about before. Yanti, there's a few different types of Yanti. With a 17, you would know the two basic types, although you've heard rumors that there's more powerful types out there as well. But the two basic types of Yanti, actually three, with the 17 there'll be three. The most kind of weakest, if you will, version of the Yanti are what's known as Yanti purebloods. Purebloods are the Yanti like the one that was trampled in that cage. They're the ones that can almost pass as human. They sometimes have snake-like features that can be easily hidden, whether it's snake-like eyes, fangs, forked tongues, scales, that kind of thing. But a lot of times, depending on what the feature is, it can be hidden fairly easily with like a cloak or a disguise or just heavy clothes or whatever. Um, Capability wise, purebloods don't have much capabilities outside of what like your typical human would have. You would know with the 17 that Yantis do see well in the dark. They are also known to have, not all of them are poisonous, but all of them are resistant to poison. Um, and that's a and yeah, there's not really much else to say about purebloods. The other type of Yanti, which are kind of they're known as broodlings. Yanti broodlings are typically formed through the use of vile magics, and Yanti can forcibly turn people into broodlings or just breed them from like slave stock essentially, and they're kind of just brutish, dumb, stupid, and they're not really anything special. Although, like most Yanti, they are resistant to poison. But they're kind of just this brutish, almost goblin or kobold-like creatures, kind of small, brutish, and just kind of dumb. They're used as just like manual labor and like guards. Um, and then the last type that you know of is what's known as a Malazan. Um, Yanti Malazans are Yanti that have undergone. They're what would be more of your classic. When people think of the Yanti, they think of Malazans because they are the ones that have like actual like serpentine features. So Malazans can come in various forms. They can have like upper body human, lower body snake. They can have lower body human, upper body snake, or they can even have just like a snake head on a human body. And some, although much rarer, have snakes for arms, and the rest of them human. So, and they are usually poisonous. Some of them can spit poison or their bites are poisonous. Others have like snake-like abilities, like constriction and that kind of thing. So, they can be far more dangerous than the purebloods or broodlings. Yeah, so that's what you would know in general about Yanti with a 17. So quite a bit with a 17.
I'll share the information with everybody as when we're traveling or whatever. What I kind of know from my stories.
Grung's like, yeah, I knew all that. Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, while everyone's going to get their bags, I would take a moment to just talk with Jonah and say, Jonah, are you sleeping all right? Have you had any like weird dreams since you've been here?
I haven't exactly had the best of sleep, but I think that's more the humidity. But no really bad dreams. Why?
I don't know. Black Wind had that, when he woke up and freaked everybody out, and I had one last night that was kind of strange, and I don't know. I feel like I've been seeing things. Like there was that, whatever that was in Coyote's chamber that she knew of and didn't care about, and then when we were talking to Zatembe earlier, I could have swore that I saw like a shadow kind of melt into a bunch of other shadows and disappear, but I have no idea what it was. I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy.
You think those were waking dreams, or do you think
I don't
they
know.
were? Hmm.
I've not. It's not something I've had experience with.
Huh. I wonder if we could talk to somebody. Should maybe ask anybody if there's any wise people knowing anything about dreams.
Yeah, maybe.
So I was thinking, the poison that was being brought into the city by the Yanti. I think the Yanti was going to meet somebody.
In the dinosaur stables,
Yeah.
you think? I guess yeah, we don't really know anything about if she was trying to hand it off or if if it was supposed to be an attack or
Well, if it was supposed to be an attack, why do it after everybody had left?
yeah, but there was nobody else there.
Well, if you saw a shadow, there might have been somebody else there.
Yeah, I suppose. But then
And
they didn't make the trade because it exploded.
yeah, or maybe the shadow. Maybe anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why were they bringing that in? Why were they? I mean, I get wanting to. If it's just straight wanderlust, like using that to enhance some of the competitors, I get that. But if it's this tainted stuff that's doing something else, then yeah, what's the purpose of it?
Yeah, because it was after this. Anyway, I will let you know if I have any strange dreams, and maybe you should talk to Blackwind about it. He might know some stuff about dreams.
I mean, that's a good point. We want to talk about people with experience with weird dreams.
Cool.
They sure are taking a while getting their bags.
Well, not
I
long
don't know why
after
you guys don't bring it with us.
they stroll
Well,
back down, having brought their bags and armor and whatever have you.
While they were gone, actually, I would actually ask Waduma,
Mhm.
where his village is.
He nods and he says, "So remember, nobody's here to translate anymore."
Yes.
So he's like, Wadumu village, close to ruin of Balubo. And he kind of thinks for a second. He's like, 20 miles or so southeast, close to River Tariki. So several days travel beyond where you're going.
Yeah. And I don't know if you, without a translator, if you would get this, but you mentioned an old coin. What did it look like? Can you draw it in the dirt?
He's like, Wadumu do better. And he kind of fishes in his pocket and pulls out this coin.
Great.
I
I will then start drawing the coin in the dirt. That one.
And he
I said draw it in the dirt.
he kind of flips it to you, and he's like, Wadumu thought it neat. Wadumu take. Wadumu no need. You want, you take.
Oh, well, thank you very much. What does the coin look like?
The coin is a silverish gray metal. I think that Jonah is familiar enough with our materials that you wouldn't even need a roll. You're smart enough. It's made of mithril.
Oh,
Interesting.
It's about the size of a normal gold piece. It looks very old and kind of not quite perfectly circular. It's kind of like slightly oblong, and it's kind of like rough and faded. The one side is worn nearly completely smooth. There's just the faintest imprint of what looks to be a face in profile, but you can't make out any details, even the gender of the face, and nor is there any writing. It's almost worn smooth. The other side seems to depict, although again very worn, seems to depict some sort of. It looks like a city with what you can just make out looks like a volcano in the background. So a city kind of like not like right at the base of the volcano, but like in a city in the jungles with a volcano like in the distance. But it's very faded and you can't make out any details, and there may have been writing on the coin at one point, but again it looks like it's like almost worn smooth in most places.
Cool.
Yeah, and so the party comes back down through Malar's throat, gear in tow. Sees the two of you, the four of you, I should say, standing around. It's now about 1:45.
Oh boy. Are we sure we want to do this?
Yeah, let's go.
I am down a little bit of magical ability since I didn't expect to be going out.
That's all right.
Um,
Your comprehend languages lasts for
1 hour, I believe.
okay, so you still have it running right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So just mark off that it's been probably 40 minutes. You got only about 20 minutes left on that.
Oh, also, I figured a thing out with comprehend languages. So when she casts it, it's basically like a golden circle of like about all different types of writing, like around the crown of whoever she casts this on, around their head. Figured out what it looks like.
Okay. That's like a temporary effect until it goes away, or always?
Yeah.
Okay.
It like swirls a bunch of writing like around in like a crown around in a circle.
Go
Subtitles.
run through
Like a
Portland,
temporary
our
halo.
Nice.
magical halo.
Yeah. Of like
That
all
would
different
attract
types
attention.
of writing.
Cool. Screaming Wind would wish you luck. Yeah, she says she'll stay here. Oh, you were gonna leave a note with her, right? Or something?
Yeah, I would leave a note with her for Salida, just and let her say if we don't return tonight, can you bring this to Salida at the
Screaming Wind nods. She knows who Salida is. So she's like, yeah, I'll find her at the Thundering Lizard if I don't hear from you tonight. Hopefully you'll be knocking on my door later this evening.
Would they happen to, or would Screaming One happen to have any kind of antidotes or to counteract poison?
Unfortunately, no, she doesn't have any supplies she can give you.
I just wasn't sure. She might have had some. I was thinking because she had some dabbling in alchemy type stuff, so some illicit drugs.
Unfortunately, she would even say she's like, unfortunately, she's left that line of work behind her. These days, she just kind of makes do with just hunting game and just keeping to herself.
Okay. Are there any plants you could tell me specifically that I could look for that in the case we have a problem with poison with these creatures that might help fight? Like,
yeah.
Or
she would.
I mean, I probably can use my nature anyways, but this might be just better all around.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think she would have that kind of information. So yeah, she would. I don't have it. I can't think of it right now, but she would share a few things that she knows, like different plants. Like this one's good for like inflammation. This one's good for preventing, for cleansing blood. This one's good for fever, etc. And she just kind of gives you a quick rundown, and like describes the plants. Most of which like you've never heard of before, but she describes them decently enough to you that you think you could find them. I would say that, if you were to like forage, well, specifically for that, not for food, you could perhaps find it. But yeah, you know what to look for at least.
Cool. Might be worth it to try to find some stuff to help, just in case we do have a poison incident.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
While Blackwind is asking about that, Archie would just like turn to Aelin and just be like, if you're really against this, I'll back you. I trust your judgment.
I just think we need to make sure we're prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of last minute switches to our plans, and the less time we have to think about what we're doing, the less time we have to react to anything that happens. That's all. Which, speaking of, do we know what we're doing at this grove? Like, are we just going and burning it down, or?
More or less to see maybe if we can disrupt it. Yeah.
Does Screaming Wind have any suggestions on or
Maybe
the
capture a Yanti.
Well, Screaming Wind says like she doesn't know what's going on there, and it sounds like Wadumu doesn't either. Neither of them have gone in. When last time she was there, it was like a small kind of clearing or whatever that they literally grew mushrooms and stuff and like under a canopy. But she hasn't been there in a very long time. She's heard it's overgrown. Well, she knows it's overgrown. But yeah, Wadumu basically would probably say that, if there's Yanti there, just put a stop to whatever they're doing is what he would suggest.
Well, they might have some kind of maybe missives or something that pertains to more maybe who they're working for specifically or what their goal is.
Just seems like whatever we do there is going to be a temporary solution if it's just taking out the people that are there because they just send more.
No, well, maybe, but everything.
I could burn some stuff down.
I mean, is that what they want? Is my question. Are we supposed to raise it to the ground?
Well, Screaming Wind would say like no one is using it for anything.
Okay.
Like
It's
it doesn't belong to anyone. It's not. At least she says, well, who used to use it, they were all dismantled and shut down and arrested, and they're well and gone. My old crew, so nobody's touched it since that I know of until now. So I doubt anybody will miss it if it's gone. I certainly won't.
Did Wadumu get any sort of numbers? Maybe
No,
roughly of creatures there? No. Okay.
he doesn't know.
Okay. I didn't think so. I just thought maybe, just maybe.
Yeah, he basically got near, saw the plant creatures, and ran away. Essentially.
And he saw a couple of those at least.
If it looks like too much for us currently, we can always run away.
You mean strategically retreat?
Yeah, run away. Archie has no shame about just fleeing. She's like, I had no problem. There's a difference between brave and stupid.
Actually, there isn't. It's just how the outcome ends up.
So are we traveling?
Yes, we
Yeah.
could have been traveling and talking. So.
Well, I mean, part of this conversation was like making the final choice.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Go, yeah.
Oh, he changed the music. It's too late. We finally got rid of that chicken.
I just bolted it into cooked chicken.
It's like Doctor Who music. Got weird. I hear owls.
Yeah, so if you guys are heading out...
Before we leave, I'm going to put some salve on.
Ah.
Oh, the
Isn't
bug
self for
repellent.
the bites.
Yep.
But you haven't been bitten yet.
Well, no, I'm putting it on as a
Preemptive.
precautionary measure against being bit.
Yeah,
And-
it's insect repellent is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
That's
it was
my
for the
next part.
bites.
Both.
It prevents
It's-
bites and soothes existing bites.
And how many? Wait,
I got one.
There's 10 applications in per thing you buy, and each application lasts for a day.
Oh, is it 10? The notes say 20.
20
Yeah,
is
the
what I
note
meant
said
to
20.
say.
Okay, this is
Sorry, the incense block has 20, right? No.
No, insect repellent.
So
The
the
incense
salve
block
has
is 1.
20.
Right.
The incense block is an 8-hour burn.
I have no
which
idea
we
how
do
these things work.
overnight. And the solve is our daily.
Would
Yeah.
anybody else like some insect repellent to smear
I got
on?
my own.
I've got my own, but
Okay.
I'm okay.
Everybody, get your rub down, friend.
Oh, yeah, like, Aelin is pretty much, like, covered head to toe, but he would just take some and put it on his hands and face.
Yeah, Wadumo kind of like waves it off if you offer it to him. He's just like, no, don't. I don't need. It's okay.
We see an
So-
insect land on his skin and just die.
Just curl up.
Is he the kind of toad that gets you high when you lick him, or?
Why don't you find out?
Just so everybody knows, Archie does have. She bought 60 applications of this stuff, so she's got like a jug of it basically.
Cool. I mean, the thing is only like a small vial that you'll need like a little bit, right? And rub it over yourself. So it's not like it's heavy. Okay. Well, you guys. So sorry. So did any of you not apply repellent? Just need.
I did.
I applied.
Okay.
I will. I will.
Okay.
Everybody knows that everything loves orc meat.
Well, and we were also warned that insects can be very bad if you
Yeah,
don't
wouldn't
You get
repel them.
fever.
go out on a half-day adventure and then be sick out of your minds for the real one tomorrow.
All right. Well,
So how long did we say we thought this would take? 7 to 8 hours? What is this
I'm all itchy now.
thing?
Yeah, it was like
4 hours maybe there.
a 3-hour journey there, and then however long it takes us to do whatever we're gonna do.
Yeah. Okay. Right as we're leaving, I would mage armor
okay.
just as we're going. So golden sand swirls around me. And then
See, gets in your eyes. Ah!
Yeah, it's all over me, and it's in my armor now. No.
it's
My teeth.
Golden sands.
I will say that I'm going to be. I'll let everybody know. I'm going to be looking for these plants maybe to help.
I
With
can help you
poison.
with that, Blackman. Tell me what to look for, and I'll keep an eye out.
Excellent. I gladly show you and help work with you. And I start talking about all things about survival too.
So, okay. And what kind of pace do you guys want to set? You want to set up? You want to go fast pace, normal, or slow?
Is normal what would take us 3 hours to get
Yeah.
there?
That's correct.
I would say fast then.
Yeah, you want to go fast?
If you
Well,
go
that puts
so
us at a disadvantage
mechanically,
to find
if you go fast, you're at a -5 to navigation and passive perception.
I'd say let's travel at normal rate, at least there. Maybe on the way back we might be running.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine.
Start the plane! Start the plane!
All right. Well, you head out into the jungle. As you leave Mailer behind you, it doesn't take long before essentially the city just vanishes from view. Probably about I don't know, 100 meters away from Screaming Wind's shack. You kind of pass through like a kind of an overgrown gorge that kind of twists a little bit, and then into kind of a light thicket. It's not like heavy. Like there's spaces between the trees. You can walk, and there's like big ferns and wildflowers and things. Plenty of birds and insects and small creatures rushing around. But you can still see the sky. It's not heavy jungle that like blocks out the sky. And you kind of like wind through at a slight incline, heading up, and after probably about half an hour, the quote unquote trail you've been following kind of just ends, and you find yourself just kind of like walking through like grasses and like not really even like an animal trail. It's just kind of like jungle. And
I
this,
didn't know. I'm going to be trying to map the trail, just the way it sort of moves as we're going.
sure.
Keeping notes as it sort of, yeah.
Yeah, and Wadumu, he seems to know exactly where he's going. So there's no real need for like any sort of navigation if you're just following him. Now you can do a navigation if you'd like, to just make sure that he's the kind of issue is you don't have no idea where you're going, but at least you could tell if you're going in the right quote unquote direction.
Okay.
Yeah, we are just trusting him.
Well,
He's taking
maybe
us
we
to the
should
frog
leave
people.
some marks
they can eat our
behind us,
clothes.
some proverbial breadcrumbs, in case we
I
need
w-
to get back without a guide.
You think 1,000 ball bearings will work, Jonah?
Once I travel through the area, I'll have a familiarity. Like it won't be just a new area. I will be able to.
Right, because of your Outlander.
You'll have advantage
Yeah.
on checks, right?
So-
Is that what it is?
So, and not to mention with her navigation skills, I think no matter what, we should be able to be fine to get back no matter what.
My
I will do
navigation
the-
is working.
Yeah. We could do the thing. Put a triangle on a tree.
Sure.
Yeah,
There we go.
Okay.
I can do that. I'll pick out one of my hand axes, and like as we go by trees, I'll just do like a quick, shank, like for the
Great.
yeah.
I like it.
All right.
Mark the trail. I would actually also be talking to Wadumu like the entire time, talking about his city. I don't think he'd really understand me too much, but I would talk a lot.
Yeah, he.
But
Okay.
go on.
Well, he would. Yeah, he probably wouldn't be super talkative. Like he,
Yeah.
you know, not really understand probably half of what you're saying, and then trying to communicate what he did understand back to you would be a little difficult. So, but you guys kind of make small talk essentially.
I do have one serious question though for him.
Sure.
I would ask if he's seen did he mention anything about Chultan slaves
He did.
earlier?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That was actually an in-character question. Sorry.
Oh,
I should
Yeah, come on, John. Weren't you paying attention?
he nods and he says yes. Human, or he probably wouldn't say human. He would say he'd probably just say like men, but he'd kind of like gesture towards Aelin, kind of, because he's the closest thing. He's kind of like people's village.
At the grove, or in your village, or somewhere else?
He shakes. He's like slaves taken to Belobo.
Lobo.
Which is near his village.
Below who? Below Baggins?
The ruins of Belobo are near his village.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know where the slaves came from, or were any of them remarkable in any way?
He shakes. He doesn't seem to know what you mean by remarkable. I guess at this point, Archie can still translate a little bit because she's got 20 minutes of.
Yeah, but he still has to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he would say. He would just say like villagers, locals.
From city or somewhere else?
Mm.
And I'd point back to the city.
Jungle peoples.
Jungle peoples. Okay.
So you guys walk for a bit, marking the occasional tree here and there. Archie, you are especially because you can see the sky in position of the sun, and you roll really well. you have no problem, like you not essentially pinpointing where you are and about how far you are from the city. So you have no problem keeping track of this.
Okay.
Blackwind and Aelin, I don't know which. I guess Blackwind will make the roll with advantage with Aelin helping to see if you can find anything. See what.
Oh, I would go up
Survival?
to Blackwind's making the roll.
To look for
Yeah, Blackwind is doing the primary forage.
antitoxins.
Sure. I would go up and I'd give him some helpful advice on using my great intellect, and I will give him guidance.
Nice. You have guidance?
Woo!
Artificers get guidance? So I didn't know that.
Well, it's in Tasha. Tasha gave him guidance. So if it's all right with you, I will. Otherwise, I'll revert back to Zending or whatever.
Oh no, it's fine. I just didn't know you had it.
Yeah,
It's a beauty.
That's cool. Guidance is good.
Level 2.
You want me to do that survival right now?
Yeah, survival with advantage and then a D4.
Add a D4. 20.
Nice.
And then just, whoops, that
So
was the
many
wrong die.
herbs.
And one.
There we
Five
go.
dice really helped.
That was a
Four.
D4.
28.
Highest
Four.
possible roll.
28.
Maximum
Let's roll.
I find all of the drugs.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys are walking, keeping so probably about say after the first like hour outside the city, you and Aelin are looking around. Blackwind, very shortly afterwards, you spot like this small kind of like white flower with kind of blue, kind of like trim on the edge of its petals, and that's exactly what Screaming Wind described to you as the type of thing. You with a 20, you go over and you're able to harvest like a small bunch of those. They don't seem to grow like prolifically, like they're not all over the place. They're fairly rare, but you're not quite sure.
I got lucky and found a
You'd
good
probably have to like grind it up. She would have told you like you would grind it
Taste
up
it.
into, yeah, and like put it into like a poultice essentially. So using it in conjunction with the healing kit,
Yeah.
you could create like an antitoxin essentially out of it.
Okay. How many do you
Well,
figure roughly?
you'd have to probably take a little bit of time to do it, so you wouldn't be doing it as you're walking.
No, I just. Okay.
But and then you'd essentially make a would this be? I guess would this be crafting?
Could be.
I mean,
So-
it could also be a somewhat under medical or survival or nature. But yeah, it's still crafting a bit.
Yeah,
Essentially crafting. So
yeah, and you
Yeah,
have
the basic. It would be a very basic thing.
yeah, it'd be
just to crush it up into a pulp and then add it to a poultice.
yeah. So you
Or
don't
even water, I
have
guess.
medicine, but you do
don't
have
Nature and survival.
yeah. Okay. Well, when you stop for a moment, I'll have you make a roll, and then the result of the roll will determine how much you get out of it.
Okay. I'm just gonna write antitoxin
Flowers.
flowers.
We'll think of a cool name for them. Somebody think of a cool name for white flowers with blue trim that are like antitoxin.
Nightshade.
Angel wings.
Just FYI, Baz, in addition to marking the trees, is mainly just keeping watch and sniffing for potential dangers.
Okay.
Cleansing lily.
Cleansing lily. Sure, we'll call it that.
Lily.
All right.
Silent cricket.
All flowers are lilies to Aelin.
So yeah, so you're able to find that as you're walking. It's a pleasant walk. It's pretty mild temperatures overall, and the trees actually that provide, although not full shade, they provide enough shade to keep the sun off for the most part. With the light jungle, there's not a lot of bugs, and any that do buzz near you quickly fly the other way, essentially.
I don't know why everybody made such a big deal about this jungle.
As
It's so easy, and I just find everything I get right away.
Archie would just like look at you and just be like, Aelin, no.
You're playing a dangerous game, brother.
as you approach about your second hour of travel, the you've been kind of marching. The grass and ferns and trees have been getting closer together and thicker the farther you go, and so it's probably about 2:30 in the afternoon, roughly. Actually, wait, no, more like 3:30. When the air seems to be like a little like if anything, the humidity increases. And you see some, and very quickly some cloud cover comes in. Within about 10 minutes, the skies have darkened, and there's angry looking clouds overhead. Wadumu kind of stops for a moment and looks back, and he says, so your comprehend language is be gone right now.
Yeah.
He looks back and he kind of points up and he's like, up to you. Me no mind getting wet. Looked like we're going to get jungle storm. And
Top up our water.
he kind of points to like a cluster of trees that are like kind of heavier, closer together with thicker canopy. He's like, we take shelter, and then he points to the other way he was going. He says, or we keep walking.
How long do you think the storm will last?
He kind of shrugs.
How, like, we've been, I assume, getting like sort of afternoon thunderstorms pretty frequently. How long do they usually last?
I mean, you guys have seen in the couple days you've been in the port, you've seen a few. Nothing you would consider like a storm. At least there's been like some heavier rain that kind of quickly passed. That only lasted like 5-10 minutes. And there's been light rain that's pretty common, and there's that one day where it rained pretty much throughout the night. But nothing like major. So what you've seen as far as like heavy rain anyways has only lasted like 10-15 minutes.
I mean, we can take shelter for a while, and if it just keeps going, then we can.
Yeah, we
Move
do
on.
want to finish this today, so I say let's take shelter for maybe 10-15 minutes, and then
That's enough. We can set out a rain catcher, top up our water.
hopefully that's all that it is, and if it keeps going, well, we just tread on through the rain.
Sounds like
And Wadumu shrugs. He's like, okay, and he kind of like turns and like moves off the, not really path he's on, but off the trail. Not trail. There's no trail or path, but off the direction he was going, the path he was blazing, if you will, and goes over to this kind of like thicker grove of trees. Kind of like crouches down and kind of like peers in, and he's like, and he's like, safe, won't die.
I'm gonna set up a rain catcher before we go in.
Okay, just out in the field between some trees.
Yeah.
Okay. As you set it up, yeah, it's just like a kind of a small circular grove of trees that's fairly thick, close together, with like this heavy canopy. So it's not like dark in here by any means, but it's darker and shaded. And as you're setting up the rain catcher, there is like a crack, very loud, and then like a boom that almost like shakes the ground. And Archie, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
Shooting cannons at us.
Nice.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
You, the couple drops that were hitting you as you were setting up the rain catcher, you hear this boom of thunder and the sky just like opens essentially. And like a just torrent of rain, it goes from a couple drops to like this sheet of water within very scant seconds. You just managed to kind of like and like duck under so you don't get totally soaked. But it comes down like unlike anything you have experienced thus far. Like the sound is tremendous. It sounds like a waterfall. Water is running in rivulets down through the canopy of the trees. Even under here, all of you are quickly soaked. The ground turns muddy and soggy beneath you, and you hear several other booms and see like lightning streaking across the sky. Wadumu kind of like curls up and kind of like sits in the mud and just kind of like looking around.
This still looks like a normal storm that we've had before, just
Oh, no.
coming down harder.
This is
The clouds.
the
clouds
far
are different.
Yeah, this is far beyond what you've seen in the port.
Yeah.
Like this is
I just-
like literally looking out. There's like sheets of water just like splashing across. Very quickly you see what looks like small like streams of water start like coalescing and racing down the hills.
Is this going to be a danger to us? Do I kind of...
Give me a survival check.
Yay!
Nice.
Well
Blackwind,
done, sir.
you've not experienced like a tropical storm like this before, but looking around and looking how quickly the water's accumulating, Blackwind's seasoned natural talent and knowledge of geography and everything, he's like, you realize that there's no way that the ground can absorb this much water. And given how the water's already forming, if this lasts much longer, like this will be like a flash flood. Staying on the ground, yeah. Your first thought is we should get up into the trees.
Yeah, I said we need high ground. I nudge Mobambo. Wabubu.
Wadumu. Wadumu seems, yeah, he kind of like sees, like you see it even almost before him, but you're like looking, because you're like looking around and you're just like this is bad. This is gonna get way worse. And Wadumu just kind of like crouches and boing, grabs a tree. He jumps like 20 feet straight up and grabs a branch and hauls himself into the tree. And then he kind of gestures down. He's like, "Come."
Yep.
I'm gonna rush out real quick and grab the rain catcher and bring it in.
I don't think that's smart.
I'm doing it.
He's
Okay.
going for it.
While Baz is rushing out, I'm going to use my rope of climbing
Mm.
Ooh.
and command it to go up into the trees to give us some
Oh.
easy.
It's a
easy
little
access
grappling
now.
hook.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm going to throw it up.
No, it's a little gun.
Full
Batman.
It's like Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. Do I just point it?
Yep. All right. I'm gonna
All
cross
right.
my fingers.
Yeah, and I'll shoot it up into the tree branches away from Wadumu.
Okay.
I go up the tree.
Okay.
I can climb. Athletics.
Sure. Give me anybody who's climbing the tree, give me an athletics check.
If we're using the rope, does that give advantage?
I believe so. That's what the rope does, right?
Yeah, I just climb up with my hands.
Yeah, Blackman,
Yeah.
you're fine. Advantage, and I think
climb up.
I think the DC on a knotted rope is like 5, so you guys should be
Yeah.
okay.
Advantage on checks made to climb it. Yep.
Last campaign.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
yeah, my athletics aren't any better than my previous character.
This is... I'm having flashbacks for some reason about
I
getting
would
swung around.
Well, you guys all rolled, but I will give
All right.
myself some pointers. Give myself
Stretch.
advantage.
Always
All right,
stretch.
remember
You don't
gym
wanna pull a
class.
muscle.
Remember the
Nice,
stretch.
nice. So
Always
yeah,
look her up.
none of you have any issue. Quickly, the rope just attaches itself. Knotted. Blackwind just hauls himself up the tree. There's plenty of handholds as well. These aren't like smooth like pine trees, like palm trees or anything. Like these are like gnarled trees with plenty of handholds. So the climb is easy. Up off the ground, about like 10-15 feet up. Even as you make your way about halfway up, as you head out, the ground is slick and your feet like squelch and sink into the soft muddy soil. And as you, it's kind of like that mud that just like clings. So you're like stepping and as every step you take, like mud just accumulates on your feet. Especially with your heavy weight, like you're like kind of squashing, sinking through.
Well, thankfully, elephants never get trapped in mud pits. That's never
Yeah.
happened.
Well, that's true. It's never happened. So you rush over to the rain catcher, you grab it, start collapsing it down so you can pull it out of the ground. However, the water that's been accumulating, there's like a rumble, and you kind of turn and look south. like uphill, and you see like a wave of water just like rushing down,
Oh,
sweeping debris and like mud along with it. Um, Before you can even take a step, it slams into you. And you need to make a strength saving throw to grab onto something and prevent yourself from being washed away.
You're just trying to speed this trip on.
I'd like to rage first. No,
Sorry?
I'm out of our.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Baz, you get slammed by this mud and debris. It knocks you off your feet, and you slide probably about like 20, 30 meters, and you guys just see him like it hits Baz, and you see him just like swept right off his feet and like down the hill. But he
just walked.
reaches out and grabs onto the trunk of another tree. There's like a crack as it bends slightly because the bulk of him hitting it. But he's able to grab. You take no damage, and you have stopped sliding.
Did I save the ring?
That's going to take a while to get out of the armor.
So mudslide carried down a mudslide. Oh, okay. Hold on. I need to make a roll. Oh, nice. Okay. So you're able to stop after a single round, which is nice. So you don't move very far. You probably, yeah, like I said, about 30 feet or so. So the water, you're holding onto this tree. The water rushing past you as you cling to this tree. It lasts for a little while. But let me just see here. If the character fails their athletics, you did not. Survival check. You guys made the check in advance, so you had advance notice. So you guys are all safe.
Well, that could have been bad.
Yep. It's a
You
good thing.
did that?
It's a good thing you noticed, Blackwind. That was important. A successful allows the characters to climb to the top. Yeah. Note this. Throughout this entire ordeal, if a character that is no longer sliding chooses to stand, yeah, okay.
Was there enough time for Gerald to climb the rope?
Yeah.
Does he have
roll.
hands?
Climb? Does he have hands? Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's got arms and legs.
Make an athletics check
His
for
arms and
Gerald.
legs, but does he have
But
hands?
does he have hands?
I cannot roll a strength thing off of his sheet
Roll it, each one.
for some reason, so I'm just rolling for him.
Why?
I think
Why
that-
not? Why can't you?
It won't let me make a roll off of his stats on the sheet. I can drag. Well, here, let me just double check. Yeah, I can drag his strength number.
Do you have the little C and S next to it?
Uh-huh.
You can't just click on the C?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Numbers everywhere.
So that was okay.
Okay.
So if you just click
Oh,
the
that's
C,
check and save. Okay.
yeah,
okay.
check and save. So they're probably the same.
Yeah. He has no special anything on any of them right now.
Okay. So yeah, he would be able to climb up as well.
How far away is Baz at this point?
He's about 30 feet down the hill. I would say give me also a dexterity check, Baz, to see if you managed to hold on to the rain catcher while sliding. See if you were quick enough to actually grab it. Yeah.
Grab
that rain catcher, wherever it is, it's somewhere downhill of you.
Damn.
Does anybody have any more rope?
I got 50 feet with me, but
Archer
if you got your rope of climbing though, can't you direct it to him?
Not 30 feet away.
Why not?
50 feet long.
It's
Isn't
50
it
feet
60
long.
feet?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
how
well,
high are we?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
You know,
Well, I don't think we had to get 40 feet or anything like that, but
Right, but
we just had to get 10 feet off the ground to kind of be in a safe spot.
Mm-hmm.
Normal rope, Archie's got 100 feet.
I'm gonna grab it, climb down, tie it to the end of the rope of climbing, and then toss it towards Baz.
Okay, so when you climb down, into the water, or just down?
Just so that I can attach it to the rope of climbing, and then have long enough to throw it towards Baz. So if the water's
Sure,
like a
sure.
foot below us, then yeah, I'm climbing into the water. But
Nah,
I'm not going down to the ground if I don't have to.
okay, that's what I was asking. Is if you said climb down, you mean like onto the ground or just down a little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's make a sleight of hand check. That's apparently what tying a rope is.
All right.
To
Or
success.
you could also use it as
Hey.
an intelligence check
Middling.
for knowledge of ropes or knots.
I don't think so. It's dex. To tie a rope, I don't think knowledge is. Not when you're
Yes,
trying to
buddy.
do it quickly, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's fine. Tying a basic knot, so it's tied and tossing it. That's easy enough. So 10 succeeds. Toss the rope. It. What is going on? The dog is.
I think Rocket agrees with me. He's very angry.
Yeah, the rope quickly sinks into the muddy water. It may be. It's probably pretty close to you. You could probably attempt to.
I attempt to grab the rope.
Okay, give me a strength check to try to kind of. Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, you're able to reach out, grab the rope,
rolls.
and kind of like wrap it around your wrist so you can hold it and like haul yourself.
Yeah.
The water it continues for probably like 10 minutes or so, just this torrent of water washing away trees and mud and debris. But you're able to hold onto the rope, pull yourself over, and eventually it abates. The rain doesn't let up. It lets up, but it still is raining a decent amount once the water kind of finishes. So there's still like rivulets of mud and water sweeping down. Most of like the loose plant life that was covering the forest floor has been like wiped out. There's just like straggly roots and kind of the tougher plants that are still left. Some of the smaller trees have been like uprooted, so it's just kind of this messy, muddy hill. Wadum was kind of like looks at you all and he's like, jungle storm, and he points at Baz and he's like, you lucky.
He's the lucky elephant.
Well,
Just give me 1 sec. What's my dog doing? I can still hear you. Rocket, shut up.
dogging it up. Dog be dogging.
Dog be doggo.
Hey, Beth, where's my rain catcher?
It's gonna meet us there.
Oh, a couple of gold is
Well,
Nah.
sure, but I thought I might have been able to get it, and those things are useful.
And just so you know, Brad, if you had failed the initial save by 5 or more, you potentially would have lost more equipment. But you did not, so you're good.
Not my cookware.
I will delete that rain catcher from my inventory.
We can go find it. Actually, I think that's the one I gave Baz.
If the weather is like maintaining but not getting heavier, I'd say we're not going to get any wetter.
Yeah, we've lost a decent amount of time.
Yeah,
So-
no, we definitely continue. It's going to be a bit muddy, but we can make it.
Just keep your eyes peeled for the heavy rain again.
Jonah, if you'd like, I'd be happy to let you, right on my shoulder if you'd like.
Let's see how far I actually sink in the mud. I'm a little bit lighter than you guys, so I might be.
Yeah, you might be able to just walk right on top, no problem.
Yeah, I will look for a stick, a hiking stick to help. But
Sure. Yeah, there's plenty of sticks and branches strewn about everywhere.
I got my trusty polearm.
There was a master at the monastery that was able to run across the surface of water.
That's so cool.
I'm sure that'd be really helpful right now.
I'm sure it was all mirrors,
I'm sure
smoke
you
and
can
mirrors.
use mud at this point, right?
I knew some human that could do it.
I mean, there were there were apprentices at the academy that could make themselves fly for a temporary amount of time, but not
That's
just like
cheating.
walking over water. They could like float.
I
Well,
wish
but
I could
walking on hot
float.
coals, now that's
I
something.
mean, I think we all float.
We all float down here. So,
Yeah.
so you guys, okay? So you're gonna continue on in the rain, see if you
Yeah.
can still. Okay. Wadumu doesn't seem to care at all. In fact, he seems to be happy. He's like kind of not wallowing in the mud, but he's like he kind of like walks with like enthusiasm, kind of splashing.
That was about a half-hour delay or so. you figure?
Yeah, maybe about that, probably.
That was a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And Wadumu kind of, as you guys are walking, he says, he tells you it's probably like another hour. But as you're walking, to kind of like kill time, Wadumu starts telling you he's like, um, kind of turns to you and he says, Wadumu knows that most humans think Grung are evil. They probably hate Wadumu when they see me. And then he kind of like pauses and he turns to you and still kind of walking like kind of sideways. He's like, well, Wadumu isn't evil. Wadumu is good. And he's like, this is why Wadumu was kicked out of tribe.
Oh.
Well, Waduma, you can be part of our tribe.
And he nods and he's like, no, Wadumu tribeless. And then he kind of like shifts like his bag that he's been holding and he kind of like pulls it back a little bit and you can see that he's got what looks like a pretty nasty like scar that runs like lengthwise across his chest. Until now the strap of his bag has been kind of covering it, and he points at it and he says Wadumu punished before he left.
Well, Wadumu, I
Good
I
deal.
think that I think that it's brave and honorable to do the right thing, even though it's hard. That's what defines being courageous.
Mm-hmm.
And
Perhaps once we're done with this, they'll see the wisdom that you had, and they did not.
he nods and he's like, then Wadumu become blue. Wadumu lead tribe. And he's like, yes, Wadumu wise and brave. And then he points. He's like, okay, we almost there. And he's like, we be careful and quiet now.
Okay, sneak mode.
No questions.
Kill everything!
And he
All
kind,
right.
he kind of like slows down a bit.
Well, now, I guess I'll try to be moving silently, but I keep my eyes peeled now for plant people.
I'll do my best to step quietly. But
Yeah. Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Pots and pans clank.
Our group is stealthy AF. I just gotta say.
Baz, you have the rear.
that's fine.
I'll maybe stay up front and
Rear
scout as
with-
best as I can within sight
Yeah.
of you guys.
I think our marching formation that we had when we were in the city makes sense. Still works for me.
Or unless you want to scout, Aelin. I
think we
technically
both.
have disadvantage on stealth right now until I get different armor, but
I mean, I'm not.
you're not stealthy?
I'm mediocre.
Oh, I just have disadvantage, so.
On your guys' skill tab, besides stealth, beside the little dex thing, I have like this little
Armor?
symbol. I don't know what it
that's
is.
the armor symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means if you have heavy armor or certain armors
Yeah,
that
it'd be
you
lit
get,
up.
you
I mean, I have no
disadvantage.
armor.
Right. That's why it's not lit up. That's why it's, I believe,
Oh.
gray.
But Brad's isn't lit up, and he's got heavy armor.
Yeah, I think it's,
It only
You have it
affects you.
equipped?
It's equipped on your
equipped.
sheet.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird.
I'm not
You're
sure
not
then.
disadvantaged, though. I think it only does it when the armor itself has that marker on it. There's certain armors that have a marker that says you get disadvantage.
Yeah, that's true. There's certain heavy, and I think if you're wearing armor you're not proficient in, it will give you disadvantage on some
I
stuff.
don't know.
I don't
that,
know if
but-
stealth is that.
I don't know. I just didn't know what it meant.
Well, roll stealth, Baz. See what it does. Yeah, see, it's working.
And
shit.
Liz won't have it.
I'm taking that as my stealth roll.
Well, but we all have to roll stealth since we're trying to be quiet.
We're being stealthy. You
Don't
guys
worry,
doing
I'll
better
fail.
than me.
Woo!
Baz is the stealthiest of the
Oh
group.
my
Oh, back to my regulars.
Wow.
Big elephant in chainmail is like going to
Dun,
gosh,
dun, dun.
See, because you don't have to lift your feet out of the water, you're just like sliding them along the bottom.
I
Oh,
step in a
shit.
bucket again.
I also
Everybody-
need
that-
Everybody gave Baz shit, but
That
That's what
damn
helped him.
bucket. Who put the fucking bucket
Oh
there?
man, Gerald is quiet AF.
I
You
think he's
guys
a
don't
rock.
see that.
Yeah.
He just stops moving and he looks like a rock.
Yeah.
I'm just stepping in buckets.
I like that. Like the first natural 20 for me is
Look at it.
a butler.
I dropped the 17 for fuck's sakes.
3 natural 20s already though. 4?
Oh, it's four, isn't it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, can I give Blackwind inspiration for 2d20s back to back? I know it's not like a
natural one.
character thing, but 2 natural 20s back to back, is that allowed?
At the end of the session.
You can give inspiration.
Anytime.
Of course, I would give inspiration at the end of the session.
No, we always just end up doing it at the end.
Oh,
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah,
It's
But you
once
don't, you
per
don't
session.
get it. Yeah, you don't actually get it immediately though, right? Or do you?
You do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
however
once
you
once
think
per
it's-
session. You
yeah.
can give someone else.
Okay.
Ah.
Mid fight.
got it.
Yeah.
Mid
If you do
fight.
something-
Well, no, I would say no, not
Okay.
mid fight.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
You'd have to do something special.
Oh, inspiration.
I assume that Gerald just walks beside you, Liz.
Yeah,
Okay.
he just follows me. Until I give him a command otherwise, he just follows with me. His default is to protect me, basically.
Okay. So
I've been replaced.
No! I can't.
She's got a
Mhm.
butler now.
She needed somebody strong.
A little
Somebody
more
that
durable.
could take a hit.
Yeah.
You just know I have a butler. You don't know what his default program is.
Someone that will protect her and not talk back.
And she will never tell you that is what it is, by the way.
And somebody
That's
that'll
how it makes you feel.
keep all her secrets.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh, geez.
Okay. Good luck, everyone.
Oh, we're fucked.
Good luck, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All
Good
right,
luck,
let's leave.
everyone.
Does everybody have their backup
S-
character?
So you guys are moving along.
Oh, no. He's describing things.
Down a narrow jungle path. With Dumu in the lead, followed by Blackwind and Aelin, followed by Archie and Gerald and Jonah, followed by Baz, because I used the order. Why? What is this?
Oh, Gerald's not in the marching formation. He's just beside.
Okay. Man, this map is cool. Sorry. Let me show it to you so you can also see how cool it is.
Oh wow, this is such a cool
That's a
map.
question mark. Oh, there it
Not
goes.
Oh, it's lovely.
Not that it really matters. We're just looking at the map.
Yeah, we're not gonna do anything with it.
We're not gonna do anything here. We're just looking at it because it's
Yeah.
good. That's fine.
It's what a cool map.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm gonna close it because I've seen it already.
So you guys are
Like
walking
I'm
along,
underwater.
keeping an eye out as best you can, and I stress that as best you can. When suddenly, through the haze of rain on the muddy trail that you've been following,
Plant people.
you catch your the sound. Actually, who noticed this? Archie is the only one that notices this. Archie, off to your left, one of the small bushes just turned and looked at you.
Creepy.
Guys,
And
I think that bush just looked.
and as you turn, just as you're about to say something, there is a kind of a hissing cry that seemed, and there's like a rustling of like branches and greenery, like something moving through the greenery on either side of you. It seems to be coming from all directions at once, and then creatures leap forth from the underbrush.
Oh God, we're doing.
It's
And I need you all
party
to
gnomes.
roll initiative.
Really quick.
It's
Really quick.
spring break gnomes.
I did specify that I was like while we're traveling, while we're walking, I am actively looking out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do I get any sort of perception check at all?
I rolled perception for all of you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Look
Good
at
initiative, though. Holy
the
crap.
3 of our initiatives are fucking.
Not mine.
Not mine. Okay.
And then
How-
the others.
Hey,
it's a deck check,
Gerald
right?
just goes on your initiative.
No, he doesn't.
He
He
doesn't?
gets an initiative of his own.
Oh, okay.
So that's
And yes.
Gerald's initiative.
How do I roll in? Why didn't it roll initiative for this creature? Okay.
I
Too slow.
can't see anywhere for initiative on him.
No, it would just be dexterity.
Just roll, yeah, just roll dexterity.
It's just the dex
Yeah.
check. Yeah.
So 15 for Gerald.
And this guy.
My golem. That's why he's in the combat tracker, because he does legitimately. Roll initiative
Gerald
for
got,
him.
sorry, 15?
15, yeah.
Okay,
Has
and
its own type that obeys
Oh.
its normal creature issue with no action required.
Vine Blake.
Wadumu gets a 6. Good job, Wadumu. Alright. Start of round 1 as these creatures burst forth. Everyone but Archie is surprised.
Wow.
Oh, farts.
Aelin, you go first. You are surprised, so you can now take
Ah.
reactions.
Plant things.
Blackwind, you are no longer surprised. You can now take actions, but you don't get a turn in the first round. This creature. You see a creature come rushing out of the bush to there, behind you. Do this every time. Gerald can now take reactions.
It's a trap.
Actually, technically, I didn't roll it. Roll me a perception for Gerald, if you would,
Sure.
because technically, I didn't roll for him.
Not good.
Nope.
Yeah, okay. So Gerald was surprised too. This one, the one that you saw looking at you, steps forward and slashes with thorny claws. It just looks like a mass of like roots that just kind of like rushes forward out of the bush and slashes at Blackwind. Unfortunately, it rakes along your armor with a scraping sound. You see like bits of wood break off of its claws, and it kind of
Unable to keep it at bay, too.
shakes, and it doesn't so much as like say something, but it shakes, and you see like the roots kind of like rubbing against each other, and it makes this like kind of this rattling hiss sound, like.
Okay. Is that? It's trying to communicate.
How big is this?
Uh-oh. It's not trying to communicate. It's trying to cast something. It's trying to mark its territory.
Baz, directly to your right, there is a man-sized mass of vines. It looks almost like a person like wrapped in vines. Kind of like steps out of like the dense foliage, and it kind of like gestures at the ground, and you see like all the plants around it on the ground start writhing and attempting to wrap around the legs of you and your party. Let me. How do you do a square again? Shift. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, that's a big square.
Yeah, it's
See,
entangled.
it seems to be centered on him or on it, and come on, don't
It's 30
lag.
feet from it, so yeah. You son of a bitch.
It's gonna. All of you are in it.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm only half in it.
It's actually 30 feet projecting from it, so technically it would be on our squares too. Like it'd
There
be
it goes. Jeez.
15 on either side. I think I did it.
Natural one.
Do you
Oh
want me
no!
to roll a one for sure?
Natural one.
I've rolled it already. So Gerald fails, Aelin succeed, Jonas succeed, Blackwind succeed, Baz failed, Archie succeed. So Baz and Gerald both failed.
It's like the more to grab, the easier it is for them to grab you.
So the two of you are restrained. A creature can use its action to make a strength check, freeing itself, or another entangled creature within reach can do the same. So it's a strength check to free yourself.
Okay.
Otherwise, it lasts till you die. Oh, for last.
Jeez.
Technically, you don't know how long it lasts, but it may be a while.
Restrained creatures have disadvantage on attack, advantage against them, dexterity.
But it's a one time like one there's only one save, so it just kind of like they all kind of wrap around you. Those of you who have succeeded, it doesn't like stay on the ground. It's just a one time restrain. But those it does grab. For some reason, it didn't put restrained on you guys.
It's a one
Do you have to click on
time
the effect?
restrain that happens annually.
You want the
He's got-
unlimited restraint plus plan.
Fine. It's one of the few conditions that Gerald can be affected by.
You see another creature that kind of stumbles out. It's kind of thin and kind of brown and seems to be like covered in thorns. Kind of stumbles out to here, just behind you. And it points at Baz, the biggest target. And it kind of points its fingers, and you see these thorns kind of like sprout and like fire, and like a hail of thorns at you. These long, thin needles.
Sure.
Why did it get advantage?
He's restrained.
Oh, because
He's
he's
restrained.
restrained. And Baz, you take 11 points, 1 point because of your temporary hit points. 1 point of piercing damage.
I knew that massage was going to come in handy.
Okay. Pro stream, you're shutting down because you give me an error every monster's turn. I'm going to have to either stop using it or... It works for you guys, but it doesn't work for the monsters. And I don't know why. This one rushes forward and attacks Gerald, who's restrained, so he gets hit.
Not Gerald.
Takes 2 points of slashing or piercing damage as its needly claws chip away a
Paper
little bit.
beats rock.
Archie, you are actually going because you're not surprised. You're the only one in the party that wasn't surprised. All these things rush in and start attacking your compatriots. What would you like to do?
All right. I'm going to tell Gerald to break himself out and attack anything that comes near. And then,
Any foe?
right. He's friendly to our party. He knows. He's smart enough to know who his allies are. And then I am just gonna send a bolt of fire at the one on the other side of Gerald. That's a -2 because he's there. But you. Nope.
Ooh,
What?
that's a
Still
miss.
can't hit anything with my magic.
Yeah, as you try to you think that you probably would have hit it if you didn't have to aim it around Gerald. You're just like, shit, Gerald, you're in the way.
You piece of shit.
And then I'm just going to. I'm just gonna sneak here. I'm gonna hide. I'm hiding behind the Blackwind and Gerald.
Baz, you are surprised. You can now take reactions. With Dumu, I never actually rolled to see if he was surprised, so let me do that now. What is it? A perception? Perception. Oh, he's. Yeah, he is surprised. Now he can take reactions. Jonah, surprised. Now you can take reactions. See another one of these creatures rush up beside. Comes around the corner. And you see another one step out near you, Aelin, and he points his fingers and fires thorns at you.
God, if only I had deflect missiles.
Oh! Fortunately,
Deflect it anyway.
Well,
he does not succeed. Alright, that ends round 1. Top of the round, nobody is surprised anymore. Aelin, you go first in this real first round for you.
What the fuck is this?
oh shit! I forgot to see if I knew anything about them.
Nice.
Oh, you move forward.
Hey,
Sorry.
good damage for once.
Wow. You just like one punched it.
I have an axe tied to my fist.
Yeah, you punch it and it literally like shatters like splintering wood, and just these needles go flying everywhere and hitting the ground, and it just kind of collapses. No blood or anything. It's like it looks like it was made of like essentially twigs and stuff that were like all like bundled together.
Let me ask you a question. I'll go now.
And then bonus action, I'll strike this one.
Get him, Aelin!
Why did that?
Roll with advantage.
Why does it roll with
Yeah.
advantage?
Linking on or something?
Which one did you attack? The vine?
The Vine Blight, yeah.
Fine.
Does he have a status effect on him or something?
Was he accidentally restrained?
Yeah.
No.
Well, because he cast out the
No.
restrained thing.
No.
Really put it on.
Yeah, you shouldn't
me-
have
let me-
advantage. That's
Yeah, no,
weird.
let me just try again.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's normal. I don't know. Hey!
Hey, it's a critical hit.
Very
Alright.
fly.
Love it.
Okay. Punch into it with force, and this is kind of like greenish, like light green liquid, like splashes out as you slice through the vines. But it kind of like screeches back and kind of like shudders a bit. These vines kind of like twist around on it.
It's weird. I'm trying to end my turn. It's not working. There it goes.
Now it's growling at you. All right. Do I recognize these things at all?
You could give me a nature check.
I would love to.
Well done.
Yeah, you're thinking back to and these seem to be the creatures. Give me 2 more, please. There's 3 different types of creatures here.
2 more? Okay.
That one's for the
nature.
guy right next to you. This one will be for the vine. Nice. And the other one will be for the needle guy.
Splendid.
Ryan.
Now watch my attack
You're
rolls
dead.
just fail.
So yeah, these creatures are
I'll tell you a story.
these these creatures are known as blights. So there's 3 different types here. There's twig blights, vine blights, and needle blights. They often are travel together or move together. They are unnatural creatures that are usually created through vile magics, or if an kind of profane events happen on ground, so they can spontaneously kind of animate and arise with evil intent. The twig blights are just, you've basically seen what they can do. They are just very simple creatures that just kind of attack living creatures with their sharp claws, and have kind of natural woody armor. But otherwise they're the weakest type of blight. They do have the uncanny ability, with a 20 you would know this, to appear indistinguishable from plant life, so they're very difficult to detect even at close range until they move. What else? The other ones, the vine blights, are the most powerful type of blight, at least of these 3. The vine blights are strong creatures, pretty hardy, and have the ability, just like the other blights, they're indistinguishable from normal vines until they move. They do have well, you've seen it, but they do have a natural ability to animate vines around them. They can't do this often, but when they do, it can definitely restrict and cause problems. And they are known to grapple and strangle their prey to death. And then lastly, the needle blights are kind of middle of the road. They're not really any more dangerous than twig blights, except they do come with a natural ranged needle ability that can be quite damaging. Like most plants, you know that they cannot be blinded or deafened, and they have blind sight as well. Within a short distance around them, they can sense life. They don't see or hear as like normal creatures do. They just kind of sense life in a small radius around them. Yeah. And you didn't roll high enough on any of them. Yes, you did actually. On the needle blights, you rolled high enough to know. No, never mind. Carry on. So that's what you know. Carry on.
All right. Hit them until they fall down. That's what we did back in the farm. Yeah. Let's Oh, I still rolled good.
Nice.
I'm hoping I don't need to use my hunter's mark on it, so we'll find out later, unless I roll a 1, but
Nice.
Smashy.
You shatter that twig blight.
Groovy. And then I will move my way around to there.
Okay.
And yeah, where's my combat tracker? That's that.
Okay. This twig blight moves forward and it scurries up, and as Baz is kind of fighting with these vines that are restricting him, it kind of rushes forward and jams its claws into you. Yep.
Not jam.
You can't seem to maneuver yourself in such a way to defend yourself easily, and it slashes you with its claws. You take a further 4 points of slashing damage. Gerald is his turn. So you told him to free himself and then attack any enemies. So make a strength check to free himself.
Okay.
Yeah, it's enough. He busts, takes his action, but he busts the vines. He's no longer restrained.
Okay.
I didn't know I could close those all at once. Man, that would have saved me so much time. Anyways, carry on. Does he move?
Nope, he's gonna. I told him to attack what came close, so he's just gonna stay here.
Okay.
You rock, Gerald.
Can you end his
Yeah.
turn?
I get it.
I cannot end his turn.
Okay, I didn't think so. Okay. The vine blight turns and towards Aelin, having run up and punched him. he turns to you, and he whips his arm out, but you see the arm is actually just a mass of like twisting vines that kind of looks like an arm. Kind of whips it out and attempts to wrap it around you.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
You can whip it.
So he wraps around you. You are
Restrained.
Grapple.
You are grappled and restrained.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
And you feel the squeeze, a supernatural strength that just kind of twists around you tightly.
You
And
son of a bitch.
absorbs your six of your temporary hit points as it crushes in on you.
It's like that massage I had earlier. Great.
One of those deep tissue massages.
Yeah, crack my back while you're at it.
Oh, he will.
This other thorny one kind of like stumbles further forward and fires
Wish I had a fireball
needles at Jonah. Twang! That'll hit. Needle slam. Yikes! Needle slamming you for 11 points minus your temporary hit points, so 4 points of piercing damage. Yeah, these are like thick, like long, and they hit you with like force, like.
Got them thick needles.
Yeah, they
But
seem.
you brush most of it off.
Given that Aelin one-shot one and the damage they put out against Baz, yeah, needle blights are a little bit of a glass cannon.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
Twig
Like a
blight.
glass cannon.
There we go.
Twig.
Inspiration to Brad.
Twig Blade 2 slashes at Blackwind. Nope, can't connect. He tries his best, fails. Archie, you see these needles slam into Jonah. See your,
Oh boy.
what do you do?
Would Blackwind have known what these creatures' type is? Like, so I'm asking mechanically,
They're
like
plants.
elemental, or they're
Plants.
considered natural?
They're
Okay.
plants. Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if the blight like changed that.
Nope, they're still considered plants.
Yeah, she's
Like humanoid plants?
No, just humanoid-shaped plants.
Like dragon?
Held together
they're
by
monstrosities,
spider twine.
though.
They're half
There you
dragon, vampiric, fiendish plants. Welcome to 3rd edition, where that was a possibility.
okay, so she's going to amend Gerald's order, and it's attack anything within 15 feet of me,
Okay.
and then she's gonna throw out
Oh my god.
a fire bolt
What do we know?
and a needle blight 2. She's gonna attempt this again.
Nice.
Hey.
She hit, and that's yeah, it's like back when my son.
Lighten up.
Oh,
Oh, you tickled it.
yeah.
Scorched it.
Unfortunately.
The 2 times I've hit with that, I rolled a 1 and a 2.
All right, Baz, you've taken a couple hits. You're still restrained. What would you like to do?
Baz is going to spend his turn just ripping all these stupid,
They're not vulnerable.
scratchy, awful vines.
They're not vulnerable to fire.
It's kind of wet, anyways. Unfortunately.
Fair enough. Sorry,
You're
Baz.
70% water.
Yeah.
All right, Baz, make a strength check, please. Oh, you strain with all your Loxodon might, but you must have pulled a muscle or something earlier during that rainstorm, and you
Yeah.
unfortunately can't extricate yourself. You spend your turn pulling and straining, but to no avail.
You needed to limber up.
It's my turn.
All right, Wadumu. His first turn since being surprised, he shrieks and he says, "Ah, plantmen!" And he,
Oh, is that what they are?
Duck and cover.
he, with a single bound, he kind of literally leapfrogs over Archie and Gerald and lands here, boing, and then pulling out a dagger, he slashes this twig blight here. He sticks the dagger into it, and the creature twists at the exact same moment as he sticks it in, twists, and the blade of the dagger just snaps.
Oh
and
no!
Wadumu like stands there staring at his dagger hilt, and he's just
Family heirloom.
he's like says something in Grung that sounds like very not polite. Jonah, you're not surprised. What do you do?
I am going to take a swing at that needle blight that threw some needles at me. I might throw some fire back at it.
Okay.
Get it.
Oh.
You didn't target it, but is that going to be a hit?
That's interesting. I did click on him. Huh.
Which one is he? Number 2.
12.
2.
Needle blight number 2.
Oh, there's still one more needle
8.
blight.
You got 11. No, that will miss him, unfortunately.
I will move away.
Okay.
Actually, I'll probably move here.
Sure. Gonna back
Pass
up
the
a
turn.
step. Okay. Twigblight moves up and slashes at the back of Wadumu.
No!
Wadumu
Oh,
nimbly ducks. Jonah, you see actually, Archie, you will see this as well. Maybe Blackwind? Yeah, Blackwind as well. You see stepping around the corner a third needle blight.
Mother trucker.
But wait, there's more.
Needles fly from his hands at Archie. Critical hit.
What the fuck, Gerald?
Archie takes 15 points minus the temporary hit points, so 8 points of piercing damage as out of nowhere these thorns just like rake up your side.
Ah.
Top of the round, Aelin, you are restrained. This thing's got these vines wrapped around your chest.
The combat tracker noise sounded way sadder than normal. Like it was lower and slower. It was weird.
So you're grappled and restrained.
Yeah, I can still attack it though, right?
Yeah, you'll have disadvantage though.
Otherwise, I have to use my strength to break out of it.
Yeah, you can attempt to. It's a pose check against its strength to break out.
Yeah, and then he might just grab me again.
Can you use acrobatics as
attack
well,
him.
too?
You can, if you want to do.
Oh.
You can use your acrobatics or athletics to break versus his strength.
Oh.
You could squirm, basically.
Either way, it takes an action. So.
Yeah. He's moderately damaged, but that was a crit.
But now he.
I'm just gonna take 2 attacks and try and take him down.
Sure.
First attack. Shit.
No, can't quite get purchase on him as you struggle to swing your arms. Nope.
Fuck.
Ah,
Nope, he holds you fast. You're kind of like flailing like this, kind of.
That's it.
Blackwind,
nice.
you're up.
I can't reach that guy, but I can do this. So I'll walk around this guy and come up to here. It's
Okay, sure.
like I walk around, so I do. Well, I guess I could have went through there too. Doesn't matter. But I will attack the one on Baz here. Please hit, please hit, please hit. Yay!
Yep. Nice.
Nice.
Shatters it.
Smash. And I still have my temp hit points, so yeah. I say, come on, quit playing around, guys.
All right, Gerald, he'll attack the guy next to him, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Gerald's first attack. All right, come on,
You
buddy.
can do it, G-Man.
Oh,
Yeah!
nice!
Wow.
Critical hit.
Wow.
That was
Mine.
Yeah, I thought it was. It
He
was like
walks up.
it was like hovering on like the 2 or the 20 for me. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
You know, for me, it
was
didn't
like-
turn, so I didn't know which
Yeah.
it was going to land on.
That was suspenseful.
nice,
Yeah.
instant death.
You obliterated it.
Rocket.
So Gerald just kind of like rotates his hand and boom, right through its chest. It just kind of like, and then kind of shakes his hand as it falls crumpling to the ground.
Just like we thought he would.
My buddy. And he's gonna stay right there for now because he's done his attack. I can't swap it.
But wouldn't he move towards the next threat? You told him to attack anything within 15 feet, right?
15 feet.
That's true, I did. So Gerald, I can't move him. So just go down kitty corner. Yeah.
Moves forward.
Getting ready for his next attack.
Oh man, we're on the line. Let's invite the lightning bolt caster.
He's not smart enough for tactics.
Does it? No, okay, it's not automatic damage. He still has to roll an attack roll to do damage to you, thankfully. So he's got you constricted. He attempts to damage you. He's got advantage because you're restrained. So yeah, he is able to just continue squeezing the life out of you, Aelin. You take a further 5 points of bludgeoning damage. Yeah, so it absorbs the last of your temporary hit points and does 5 real bludgeoning damage to you as you hear as it just constricts around you and just like, oh god.
My back!
I
Needle.
know I asked for this, but now I regret it.
The needle blight will. Everybody's in melee. The needle blight will level its fingers. See how smart are these?
How
things?
rude.
How smart are you? Okay, I
SMRT?
don't think it's smart enough to know. So he's gonna fire into melee. Got at a higher intelligence, it would fire at the ones in the back. That he doesn't have a negative to hit, but he will fire at Baz, however, because that's who he's targeting. And you're restrained, and he's smart enough to attack. But unfortunately, it ricochets off your thick hide, and just kind of bounces off your skin. Archie.
Archie is very upset that she's just taken quibbles all up her side. And so you're going to see the golden feathers on her neck are going to glow a bit. And 3 small feathers are going to lift out of it and shoot directly at the needle blight who hit her.
Okay, this guy over
Little
here.
tiny feather missiles, if you will.
Ah,
Is
like
she turning into-
magical
Magic
feather
feather
missiles. Ah,
Yes.
Nice.
So
So tickle missiles? Tickle, tickle.
no, well, it's the point of the quills that are jamming it. So it like,
They
Nice.
tickle you till you pee yourself.
yeah. Okay, so it should be 1, 2, 2.
Pew.
Yeah, it's
Ew.
enough. Glass cannons, indeed.
I'm
You
a
breathe on them.
with magic missile. I have to choose before I do it which
Yeah,
ones they go.
you have to
to, right?
target.
Yeah.
You have to
All of
choose
them were-
all the targets, and then they all hit at once.
Yeah. So all of them were going to that dude.
Okay, so 3 of them slam into it simultaneously, and just tear it apart. Falls to the ground. Baz, you're still restrained.
I'm gonna really want it this time.
Got a rage.
Wish I could.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
So with friends, doesn't use your athletics. It's just a check.
Apparently,
it's a strength. Yeah, it's a strength check to break the vines.
Gotcha. So it's
different from grapple.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just in my mind. I'm just trying to. So grappled can use your athletics or acrobatics, but restrained does not.
Well, this particular spell, anyway.
Yeah,
particular stuff.
this effect is a strength check, just a straight strength
Yeah.
check. All right, sorry, Baz, you can't get free. You're restrained.
Strange.
I feel
I
you,
mean-
buddy.
You're right at the epicenter of it, so there's just more of it on you.
Yeah,
Um,
it's wet.
Wadumu will toss the hilt of the dagger into the bushes, draw a second dagger, and stab at the twig blade next to him. And he says, "Plant man, die!" Oh,
Breaks
fuck's
another
sakes.
At least he didn't break the knife this time.
Yeah, but he just kind of scrapes along, like, just chips like a little piece of wood off of it. Doesn't really do much. Jonah.
All right, I'm going to target the Vine Blight with a firebolt.
-2 because he's in melee.
I ignore half cover because I have the arcane focus.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
Aren't you half blind? Oh, it's so good. I got it.
Yeah, that'll hit him. And 4 points of fire damage.
And that's the turn.
Okay, Twig Blight 4. He will continue his assault upon Wadumu, because that's who he was attacking last turn. Wadumu will take a hit. Wadumu takes 4 points of slashing damage. He shrieks. But the Twig Blight doesn't seem to be affected by the slimy coating on his grung body. I.e., he's immune to poison. I didn't. There we go. Aelin, top of the round. You're still restricted and feeling the squeeze. What do you do?
I'm gonna keep fighting him. I'm gonna say, Waduma, don't get hurt.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yay.
Barely. You just managed to just graze him. But
I'll take barely.
Are you chewing on him?
Nice. You got the hang of this now. Oh, the creature kind of stumbles a bit, but doesn't let go.
Yeah.
Blackwind.
Stare into my eyes, buddy.
Yeah, and this close you would notice actually that its face, like it's got like the semblance of a face, but there's no eyes there. It's just a mass of vines.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a solid hit.
As long as I don't roll 1 damage.
Oh,
Bam!
shatters it. The last twig blade explodes under the weight of your glaive.
Huzzah! And then I move to there. Shoot. And Bob's your uncle.
Right. Gerald's gonna move down kitty corner beside the Vine Blight.
Then here.
He's within 15. Yep.
Hit.
And he's gonna punch him. And miss.
Oh.
And that's Gerald.
Used up all of his.
He's got to recharge that punch.
Okay. The Vine Blight, with supernatural perseverance, continues trying to slay Aelin. Aelin, however, resists the squeeze. Arrgh!
Yeah, I got you.
He's raging.
The Needle Blight continues its needly assault on. Actually, he's going to fire at Blackwind because you stepped in the path that he was firing at Baz. So he just keeps firing in the same direction, but this time Blackwind's in the way. Pew pew pew! Oh, that was a 6, but it landed on a 16 instead, so that's going to hit you. Needles rake Blackwind, dealing... Jeez, the damage on these guys. 10 points, so 4 after your hit points. Piercing damage. Top of the round. No, not top of the round. Archie. It's not even close to the top of the round.
Alright, well, I'm gonna try
It's
and.
wide
Middle
open
round.
shot.
Yep, gonna try this fire thing again.
Ooh,
Nice.
You got it.
Just barely.
I thought that was a 1.
Wait. Did you put the -2?
Not
He's
on
not
melee.
in-
He's on a melee.
he's
Oh,
not
you're
a melee
attacking the
anymore.
Needle Blight. Sorry, I thought you were attacking the Vine Blight. Carry on.
No, I'm attacking the
No, he
guy.
doesn't care about me.
No.
You got it right where you want it.
Nice. 8. The creature kind of like stumbles backwards as the bolt hits it square in the chest. Baz, you're still restrained.
Third time's a charm, right?
Hit him, Baz.
Oh my god, these rolls, Baz!
Wow.
It's like Therdrin with rope.
Baz is just straining and probably like panting at this point, trying to. These vines are tough as shit.
See,
I've never been wrapped in vines before. I don't like it.
some restraining holds with ropes bind tighter when you pull against them. So you got to go with it like a finger trap.
Mm.
Oh my god. Wadumu like leaps forward, slashes, and his second dagger hits him and also breaks. And he looks at it and he's just like, "Rah!"
You gotta talk to your blacksmith there, would you?
Some high
They're-
quality.
They're like literally like crude like sticks with like twine that's holding like this stone blade in place that just kind of gives out. Jonah, your turn.
I'm gonna cast another firebolt.
Oh,
Oh,
that was on an 18.
The dramatic slow rolls, eh?
Would you allow me to just quickly give Gerald a order on my turn? Or is it too?
No,
Okay,
it's too late now.
continuing to attack.
You
Yeah.
got him. You're chewing him to death.
Is it enough?
Yay!
Yay!
Yep. You smack and you immediately feel the vines kind of slacken as the creature just kind of like crumples like a coil of rope just to the ground.
Marcellus, you good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'll run over and bonus action attack this fella.
Oh yeah, you got that.
Oh, why did it did it again? Why I didn't hit advantage? And why is it disadvantage?
You're
Oh,
probably
Oh, because you're still
restrained.
restrained. I didn't take the restrained off of you.
It's
You
fine, I
hit
hit it
anyways. Yeah. Let me take the grappled and restrained off you.
And he
Yay!
ends it. He's
Nice.
like, aha!
The last needle blight shatters under your blow. You look around, take a moment, look around for danger. You don't see any other movement in the jungle. It seems this assault has ended.
Oh, yay.
By the way, Baz, as soon as that vine blight collapsed, the vines wrapped around you immediately slackened and fell to the ground as well.
Just act like it was you, though.
Rah! I did it, guys.
Oh,
Wadumu was like looking at his dagger hilt, and he's just like, Wadumu need better weapon. And then he kind of like clutches his arm where he's got like this nasty gash down the side, and then he looks around. And he's like, "Everyone alive? Everyone okay?"
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Are you okay?
Never better.
He's like, Wadumu be fine. Just
I'm gonna go up and make sure Aylin's okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
He's just got like I would say, Aelin, you probably just got like those, you know, like someone gives you like a snake burn. You probably got that like around your chest.
There's like nasty bruises. Yeah.
Okay.
That you
And
can't see because
then,
he's all covered anyway.
Oh sure. Yeah.
since I'm walking up that way, I'm gonna offer Wadumu my dagger.
I'm gonna take a set of
His two
initiative.
broke.
Here.
I don't know if he has any other
Yeah,
weapons.
he'll take. He didn't have it. He had 2 daggers. They both broke. His rolls were a nat 1 followed by a 2 followed by a nat 1. Like, come on.
Those are heirlooms. Those are handed down to his family for
Yeah,
generations.
he'd take the metal dagger and he kind of like looks it over. He's like, this nice. Thank you. Wadumu happy. He puts it in the sheath on his belt.
I'm going to use one of my tirelesses just so I have 10 pin points again, and
Sure.
because you never know when we get.
I mean,
And
we're not
again.
even at the grove yet.
And before we move on,
Yeah.
I would like to cast the mending cantrip on Gerald. So, as I put my hand on him, little grains of golden sand like fill up the cracks in his rock facade, and they turn to glass. They melt into glass to fill in all the holes, and he heals for 5 hit.
Nice.
Duct tape would be cooler. The golem holding it's a duct tape golem.
Well, I don't really know what happened there, but I wasn't really able to get out of that
You were real tangled in those
restriction. I
vines.
was
It
really
was literally a Chinese finger trap. It's just on an Loxodon.
I don't know. It's just,
I'm sorry, Baz.
no, I'm sorry. I didn't really. I wasn't able to help.
You were at
I
the
would-
epicenter.
I guess I could have tried to help. I'm just not very strong. They looked like they were really, really.
Yeah, they
restricting.
were really on there. Boy.
They caught us all by surprise, Baz. It's all right.
I was about to direct Gerald to try and help, but then my brother killed them all.
I'll grab a couple of twigs from those things too. Just
Yeah, you want Baz? You want to make like a salad out of these or something?
well, I'm grabbing it just in case maybe I can, take some burnt down remnants of it or something like that, and maybe add it to ink or something.
No, these
Eventually, they might have some magic to them.
these creatures are probably especially bitter.
My side hurts.
Probably.
As I just notice again all of like the needle
Yeah,
quills down.
like pulling these little quills out of you. I mean, they're not really little. They're like probably this like pretty thick like thorns.
Well,
And
At least they weren't murder hornets.
And Wadumu kind of looks at you all and he's like, need rest, or we almost at Grove, just up the hill.
Oh,
If we're almost there, maybe we'll
rest.
take.
Just a note. You guys are technically in like overland travel, so you can take a quick rest, which is like an hour, and the only thing you can do on a quick rest is either eat and drink, and use a medicine check. So essentially, you can use hit dice and a medicine like to heal if you want to, but you can't actually do like a short rest in overworld travel unless it's like at night, like camping.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should press on.
Archie
Just
is
get a
the
sense of
most
what the
injured.
grove is like.
I am.
Yeah. As I'm
I'll
saying that,
I'll try and stay back with Gerald.
I'm gonna walk up to Paracelsus and put my hand on her shoulder, and I'm gonna use my healing hands,
Oh,
give her 2 hit points, and say, that thing with the feathers, I've never seen you do that before.
I've never done it before. It seems like I talked to Ogma last night, so maybe it seems like maybe he blessed me with something that won't miss. Which is what I asked for. So that's pretty cool.
And now I'm traveling with you. I only miss when I want to miss.
Wow. Apparently.
Now the rest of my...
Wadumu's like, Wadumu hit, but Wadumu not hit good.
You need better twine, or better stone, or better everything.
All right. So
Okay.
you guys want to press on then to the grove?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think these
Just up
things
the
are
hill.
treasure hoarding things, are there?
I mean, you can take a few minutes to search around to see if you can find anything.
I'll just take a quick boo, maybe where they were
Okay.
hiding.
Give me
a
an
little bit.
investigation check.
Might as well take a quick boo. Skills, investigation.
Can I help?
Sure. Do it
Sure.
with it. Roll again. You have advantage. So.
Oops, that was intimidation I rolled, wasn't it? Didn't
Yes, it
matter.
was. So roll investigation with
Yeah,
advantage.
I missed in investigation. Oh, yeah, I missed it by one. Hey, 12 and a 12 for a 12.
And a 12 is what you rolled before, too.
As Archie just goes, let me search next time.
Oh, I was already looking, so you're like, hey.
with a 12, just off the path, just off to like the right there, where the most of the blights came from, like they kind of circled around that tree that was just to your immediate right. The vine blight was in that patch of bush, but like behind is where they kind of came from. When you go back there, you actually find something. I was I was actually thinking, I'm like, oh, they might just move on without looking around at all. But
I didn't even think they would have something.
so you come across a hold on. What does this say?
A shit ton of magic items.
I have to remember.
Platinum cube, that's weird.
Yeah, you see like a mass of like brambles, and you actually see that there are two figures tangled in the brambles. On the left is a tabaxi who is motionless. Next to him looks like a male tabaxi. As you kind of get closer to it, and she's like kind of like in the brambles, like near the center, covered in like these like thick, like sharp thorns. There is what looks to be a elven woman with scratches all over her body and like bleeding all over these tiny cuts. She kind of like, as you step closer, she kind of like actually lifts her head slightly with a glassy look in her eye and kind of moans very softly, help me.
Fuck.
You guys strong
I'll go over there and
strong guys want to try and
break
break the
them out. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
Gerald, help Baz.
Yeah, I mean
I'll apply any medicine I can.
I mean, you can't. You have to get her out of there to do anything.
Oh.
Like she's literally like in the center of these
Yeah.
brambles, and they're like covered around her.
I'll use my
That
sword
first thing.
to try and like cut through them and then break them.
We'll go carefully if there's thorns on it, because there's a shit ton of thorns that will probably tear her apart, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you're like trying to cut the thorns and move, even small movements in the thorns and moving it, she kind of like gasps in pain. And you can see that some of the thorns like are wrapped around her, and like the thorns are like embedded
Can I reach
in
her? Can I like touch her? I'll cast Cure Wounds on her.
If you stick your arm in, you could reach her.
I will. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check.
Well, certainly.
Okay. You stick your hand in, and it is gouged by thorns when you try to reach in far enough to hit her. You take 2 points of piercing damage.
I'll just push it in because it comes off my temp anyways.
Okay, but yeah, you can cast Cure Wounds on her.
Because I don't think she'll survive the extraction. So yeah, I will Cure Wounds, and she gets... I can't target her, so, well, 4 hit points. So hopefully that stabilizes her a bit.
Okay, yeah, you see a lot of the small cuts kind of like close, but it does nothing for the vines that are like wrapped around and like embedded in her.
No. Now we can take our time a little bit, though. To move easy, like deliberate.
She kind of, as you guys are cutting away, like you can't really like chop the vines.
Yeah, no, I'm like sort of like trying to like get
her out.
Like outward, that kind of thing.
Sure. Give me Uh, once free. Sorry,
Nate?
I'm just looking here. You can pull her free.
I mean, I could try and.
Let's see, yeah. If you give me a well, there's two ways to do this. You can try to kind of like you can either try to brute force her out and just pull her free, or you can try to like very carefully kind of like pull her free. Either way, you need either a strength or a dex check, depending on which way you're going to try to do it. Dex is going to take longer, probably take you like 10 minutes or so to carefully extract, or you can just yank her out with a successful strength check.
Could I help doing that with a hammer and a chisel to like just chisel through the vines?
Sure, yeah, you can. I mean, two people working together or more could give
Yeah.
you advantage on the check.
I was trying to figure out how I could help.
Yeah, and then
Well, we definitely have strength, but I'm just wondering if it's probably potentially more damaging to her if we
yeah,
yank her.
I would actually ask if you're willing, if you would be willing to help with this. This seems like a bit of a delicate thing, and
Jonah, do you got any input?
seeing you move, you tend to have a bit more, I don't know, grace than I do.
And maybe Jonah's insight of on how to do things could help us.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly try.
So we're delicately trying to get her out. That's the plan.
Okay.
Okay.
So who's making the roll?
I think Aelin is.
Aelin, yeah.
Aelin, and we're
We're all helping.
We're assisting by trying to get rid of as many vines as possible.
Jonah's
Sure.
back feet helping. No, lift there. No, there.
Alright.
It's a dex check.
It's a dex check. You'll have advantage because you have help.
I'm weakening some of them.
Double 11.
11.
Yeah, it's barely. You kind of like, pull
I don't have
her,
enough arms for this.
pull her loose. Oh my goodness. She, as you pull her loose and you like pull the vines off, you pull some of the vines off and they literally, it's almost like peeling them off, and like the thorns kind of pull out, leaving these thick kind of sores that look like they're infected behind. She's got all these like little holes in her arms and legs and body. So she's bleeding, but you managed to extricate her without killing her.
Yay.
And
Hooray.
you're almost positive, Blackwind, yeah, if you hadn't healed her first, she wouldn't have survived that process. And yanking her out probably would have been far worse. But yeah, she kind of like, you pull her free, and she kind of gasps in pain as the last of the brambles come off of her, and she kind of like breathes a sigh of relief as you pull her free from the thorns, and she's just like, oh, I thought I would die here. I thought I was dead. She's like, thank you, travelers, thank you so much. She kind of leans herself up against like the base of a tree, and she's like, oh, I'm so thirsty. Do you have any water?
Yeah, I'll hand her a water skin.
Sure.
I have two.
What is your name?
Yeah. and
Sorry?
What are you doing out here?
What's your
her
name?
name?
She's like, she kind of gulps the water, and in between gulps, she's just like, I'm Ciela, me and my friend. And then she kind of turns and she's like, there's no chance he survived, is there? Looking over at like the tabaxi. It is obvious just at a quick glance that he is definitely dead.
Oh, nope.
She's like, no,
It's a
he's
big nope.
That's a plant food.
She's like, yeah, he stopped struggling hours ago. Must have been. It's like, I don't know how long I was in there. A day, maybe more. Those creatures caught me and trapped me, and she's like, I think they were. And she kind of like looks at all the wounds on her body, and she's like, I think they were draining my blood. She's like, two of those creatures seemed to arise out of the ground a few hours afterwards, but I lost consciousness for a bit, and when I awoke, Ashenrock, pointing at the tabaxi, he was gone. And then she's
What were
So
you
they procreate.
jungle?
she's like, yeah, we were, well, as funny as it sounds, we were scouting, we were supposed to be part of a rescue party, some of the citizens were abducted, and we were searching to see if perhaps they were brought to this grove. But these creatures, they came out of nowhere. We didn't even see them coming, and we fought as best we could, but they took us both. And then
So she's from one of the separate little colony or settlements or whatever than the city.
No,
No, she's from the city. Okay.
yeah, she says no. We hail from Malar's Throat. We're part of the Citizens Brigade, a bit of a ragtag militia, if you will. That we do our best to try to protect the people. And she would tell you that initially they were looking for Terra folk that were seen in the area, but they came across some of their corpses, and she kind of points kind of vaguely in the direction you guys came from, but kind of off to the left further, so like not you didn't see this as you were coming up in the route you took. She's like, they were down that way. There was 2 or 3 of them, but they seemed to have I don't know, killed by something, rotted away. So we thought perhaps it had something to do with this grove, and well, as I say, as we got close, we came upon under attack. If you hadn't come by, I'm sure I would be dead before nightfall.
Do you know anything about that grove? As I point up the hill.
And she shakes her head. She's like, I wish I could tell you we had learned something, but it seems our mission was doomed from the start.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, we were quite fortunate to find you. We're actually headed towards the grove ourselves. Our new friend here, and I would gesture to Wadumu.
And she seems to see him for like the first time. She's like, that's a grung.
He's
Yeah.
friendly.
Yes, yeah, he's a very, very friendly, brave, courageous, bright grung.
And Wadumu kind of like puts his hands on his hips. He's like, Wadumu, good grung.
See, yeah.
His people seem to be affected by this grove as well, and then
she kind of shrugs. She's like, "Oh, if he's with you, you seem like good people. You destroyed these creatures, so it's good enough for me."
How do her wounds look? Do they look like it could use the poultice that maybe I can make, or just some first aid treatment?
I mean, yeah, she definitely looks like she's definitely wounded. She could definitely use some first aid.
I'll bandage her up as best I can, even though it's technically not a full rest at all, but it's probably still better than
the resting rules only apply to players.
Yeah,
like, technically, like NPCs don't technically have hit dice that they use when they're resting. It's just not the same rules.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! 5. At least I didn't kill her.
So I mean, you bandage her as best you can, but her wounds are like they're all small wounds, and they're like numerous all over her body. So it's not easy to
cover the big ones or the bad ones.
Yeah. Well, we're heading into the grove, and then we're coming back this way. I don't know if it's wise to traverse the jungle on your own, or if you want to wait here, or come to the edge of the grove. I'm not.
She's like, well, and Wadumu even kind of points like upwards the ridge, and he's like, grow very close.
Yeah.
And she kind of nods, and she says, no, I don't think I'll be going anywhere until I can rest and have a bit to eat and perhaps tend to these wounds a bit further. And she kind of nods to Blackwood, who's like binding her as best he can while you're talking. And she's
many holes.
And she's like, no, I'm in no shape to go in there, but if you could complete my mission, maybe get some vengeance for my friend Ashenrock, I would be in your debt. I would like to bring his body back to Malar's Throat for a proper burial. I don't know if I can manage on my own.
Well, if you wait for us here,
we'll
be back.
And she nods.
If nothing else, even if we can't physically carry him, I do have.
I think we have a guy. I know a guy.
Oh yeah. Sure.
And she nods, and she's like, "Well, I wish you luck. I don't know what's in there, but hopefully it's not more of these creatures. But at least now, perhaps you'll know what to look for."
Well, they blend in well. I'm more worried about
I
the
mean,
other creatures that are with them. We've heard Yanti.
And she's like, she kind of hisses. She's like, "These foul creatures. Doesn't surprise me they'd be behind something like this."
They're the worst.
Is it-
We're definitely not young.
Is it strange that
We're definitely not young.
You can trust us.
See, not
we,
snakes.
we don't even know the
Maybe
secret
it's just
handshake?
small. I mean, big. I mean, yeah.
And she says, "Oh, well, if you go, I don't know if this will help, but," and she kind of like, kind of, she seems to be a bit steadier now that she's had some water, and she kind of like, stands up and kind of, she's still a little unsteady, but she kind of goes over to where, like to the brambles, and she kind of like crouches down and onto the
Careful,
ground level and kind of like carefully like reaches
Crawls
in like
back into them.
and pull. No, she like reaches underneath and kind of pulls like, and takes her a little bit, but she kind of like yanks free what looks like a backpack, and she kind of like rifles through it a little bit, and she pulls out a small vial with like a yellowish green liquid, and she's like, and she kind of hands it to you. She's like, I don't have much, but this might come in useful. She's like, it is a tonic. It should protect you from poisons and toxins, if such a thing is in there.
Nice.
It's just a matter of which ones. Who's probably more susceptible to be poisoned? Probably somebody like Archie.
Yeah, and he's the most hurt.
I mean, poisons are typically Constitution saves, so.
So I'm probably the worst at Constitution.
But either way, I mean, if anybody gets poisoned, it's gonna suck.
Ooh, can I just take a look at it since I'm interested?
Yeah,
in
of course.
alchemy?
Sure.
Thank her for it. This will definitely be useful.
Yeah, we'll definitely be coming back through this way, and we'll take you and your friend back to the city.
So
tell her to keep the water skin.
It is a potion of poison resistance.
Okay.
It's resistance. Nice.
When you drink this potion, you gain resistance to poison damage for 1 hour. Drinking or administering the potion takes an action. So it's something you'd want to do preemptively. It won't help you once you're already poisoned. Unless you're taking ongoing damage, then of course you'll get resistance from then on. So it doesn't actually give you like any advantage on saving throws. It's just resistance to poison damage.
Poison. That might be more useful for somebody that's in melee, probably.
Yeah, I would
unless
say
they
one of
spit
you
poison.
three than one of us.
Did they
like to run away from people?
I don't know if they spit
Or-
poison or shoot poison, do I? They
Gerald?
No.
I mean, we know the.
Gerald is immune to poison.
Make him resistant too.
Good point.
He's immune to the damage and the condition.
And Wadumu would say that he has no need of that.
I would say Aileen. Sorry. Aileen.
Yeah, you get around.
Maybe would you benefit probably
Aelin or
greatly?
Baz, they both get hit a lot.
Yeah,
Baz
I have
has
a couple ways of kind of
avoiding
attacks too. So
Baz?
Okay.
Baz?
I mean,
because
sure, yeah.
I mean, I have
Okay.
10 hit points still up.
I'm also curious about how it tastes.
Yeah.
there you go. Just give you some inspiration.
Spicy.
Okay. So Baz, you can have that. I put it on your character sheet. It's up to you if you drink it now or not. Lasts an hour.
Yeah, before we enter the village.
I would ask Fila where she got that. That looks very interesting. Where she acquired it.
Yeah, she nods and she says, I purchased this from one of Wakanga's merchants. He deals in potion trade in the city.
Who is that?
Wakanga?
Wakanga.
No. His specific merchant. Or is it just like at his
special supplies?
Yeah.
Or where?
She says if you inquire at
maybe
the...
maybe she could help us get a meeting with Wakanda. when we get back.
She doesn't know Wakanga. She has
Oh,
no
okay.
clue
I
about
thought
it.
maybe she'd. Damn it.
Yeah, she says that you could find Wakanga's potions and merchants who sell them at Golden Throne.
Okay. Cool.
Wakanga's essentially works out of Golden Throne,
Okay.
having rare and magical things. He doesn't just go into the bazaar or anything.
Fair enough.
Gotcha. Cool.
Just for future. All right.
All right.
Well, do you guys want to go up the hill?
Yeah. If you guys are all good, tell her to keep the water skin and rest up, and we'll be back hopefully in a blink of an eye.
Lickety split.
Before you can say, "Holy shit, you're back."
And if we're not, you should probably
Wait longer.
If we're not, you got to come back in and save us. Damn it. No.
You come
Yeah,
get
she nods. She thanks you again. She says, "Yes, I'll rest up a bit, and hopefully I'll be by the time you return, I'll be in good enough shape to accompany you." So yeah, she will wish you good luck. Put an end to this horror that has plagued our peoples.
Stay safe. Stay hidden.
All right.
All right, let's go.
All right.
You want to drink up?
Oh, I think maybe I'll wait until we see sort of
What's
what it is.
happening there?
Fair enough.
Like we can get to the ridge before and take a look. See, hopefully, like there's a ridge that we can get up to.
Yeah.
Or how? Ow! Fuck. Sorry, I just poked myself.
Yeah. Wadumu would gesture for you to follow him, and he carries on. I mean, you're not like on like a steep hill or anything, but you're
No.
still heading up. Kind of twists and turns. You lose sight of Ciela. About, I would say 10, 15 minutes later. So it's probably going on like 4-ish.
Yeah.
No, maybe a little bit later, like 4:30, because you were way late a bit because of the rainstorm. About 4:30, in the evening or afternoon, Wadumu would kind of point, and he says, kind of points to like, and you can see like just beyond where he's pointing, the lush greenery kind of gives way to like this gnarled tangle of like thorny bushes, and like these grayish trees that look like partially dead, and some of them are, and it kind of creates like this wall of like thicket. And he kind of points off to the left, and where he's pointing, it's almost imperceptible if he wasn't pointing it out, but there seems to be a small like opening in this wall of brambles. And he says, "There, that leads to Grove."
All right, looks like that's our destination.
Yeah. Go
Quietly?
quietly take a look.
Okay. You want to give me a stealth roll if you guys are all moving quietly?
Oh boy.
Nice.
Are you sure you don't want me to use my stealth roll from earlier?
Oh, baby.
So stealthy.
Pretty good. Pretty well. Okay, so getting worse.
Oh. Jonah,
Okay, so-
Aelin, up at the beginning, topped.
I mean, a natural, like, natural 20, I feel like.
Balance it out.
Well, you guys approach stealthily. Nothing leaps out and
man.
attacks you. But as you approach, you can see that there is the entrance is it's only like 5 feet or so wide, and as you reach the entrance, you can see that it's almost like a tunnel in the brambles, and it kind of goes in and kind of like turns about like 10 feet down. It kind of turns so you can't see where it goes, and it's dark, relatively dark in there. Like there's still like sunlight coming down through the trees and like into the entrance, so you can see all the way to the back where it turns out of view. But you can also see that You guys have perception. Perception 12, 13, 14. Okay, yeah. So several of you, Baz and Blackwood in particular, and does Waduma? Yeah, no. So Baz and Blackwind, you guys notice this looking down, but you can see that the surrounding like archway, and it's only like Baz, you'd probably have to like crouch a little bit to not rub your head on the top. But the whole all the walls you can see are covered in well, Baz and Blackwind, you'd recognize this of looks like hundreds of vines. And the vines you recognize as the same type of vines that were in the arena that they had like strung up along the outside of the cages, the ones that like lashed out at you.
Oh.
Um, so Blackwind and Baz, you notice and also put two and two together. That's the same type of vine.
The groper vines.
Stay away from the edge.
Do I know anything like is this something that kind of occurs naturally, or are they more magic type things that happen like at the arena and such as this, just as a guardian type thing?
I don't think you'd know.
Okay, so it's probably arcane. Then it's not a naturally occurring.
Well, I mean,
thing?
they look like vines. They're vines.
Yeah.
You don't
But-
see anything magical about them.
Yeah.
They look like vines to you.
Okay.
They're not glowing or anything. So, I mean, there's
Covered in runes.
yeah, there's nothing here that would make you think that these are magical vines.
No, but
Neither were there any in the arena. Like someone put those vines up, right?
yeah, okay. I just wasn't sure if these are natural or something that somebody's made by design to be a defensive thing.
I mean, it could
They've
be
been placed
both.
as a defensive.
I mean, maybe they were grown here specifically to create a defense, but there doesn't necessarily mean that they're a unnatural
they're
thing.
natural. Yeah. Cool.
Um,
So we need to stay
and-
away from them.
Yeah, well, you recall, and because you've all seen these things in action, you recall that they seem to trigger with close proximity and with movement. So there doesn't seem to be a way through that wouldn't get you within the 5 foot. Like there's the whole thing is 5 feet wide, right? So, but whether or not they, like the vines that you saw, seem to react to like the violent movement and fighting in the arena. So there's a possibility that moving slowly enough and carefully enough to not disturb them could get you through.
We could try burning them away, me and Jonah.
Well, but then we're making our appearance.
Has
very
there been any
obvious.
recent traveling through this entrance at all?
You can give me a survival check, see if you can find any tracks.
No, it's not the time to roll that low. Unless
Yeah,
I get
with the recent
advantage.
rains, if there was tracks, they seem to have been washed away. It's all kind of like muddy and kind of
Actually,
like
I get advantage on that, don't I?
from what?
Wanderer? Or no, that's for
I don't think that gives you
that's for
anything on
not
tracking.
that's for more or less navigating.
When in the arena, they
Or
like sprayed something
foraging.
on the vines, right? When we were down to calm them down.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. What was it?
You don't know.
Well, I mean, we have no idea.
What would make these things retract?
Yeah, I mean, let's try and move slowly through them and
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I will crouch.
cause a problem.
I could test out moving something through it.
Should send Gerald through
Send
first.
Gerald through.
I could, or I have a magical hand, but it's pretty incorporeal, so
I don't
probably.
know.
Yeah.
I would send Gerald.
You guys want me to
Yeah.
send Gerald to slowly walk in first?
You're up,
Yeah.
buddy.
Okay.
This is your time to shine. Although
So yeah,
maybe
well, I'll let
temperature.
Gerald go first, slowly walking through to see if anything triggers. an
Okay.
attack.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
He's got this.
I sort of want him to fail.
Okay, so Gerald, not the most dexterous of creatures, although not bad actually. He's got a 12. He kind of like lumbers in, gets about 10 feet in, like almost to the bend, and then you see him kind of like sink slightly and kind of shift to the side,
Ugh.
pretty
Just falls into the
quickly.
wall.
And then as he does so, the vines to his right and the direction he kind of moved towards, kind of more quickly than he did before, lash out and kind of like bounce off him, and you see that the tiny thorns just kind of like break on his skin and like leave this like liquid behind. He doesn't take any damage. He
Okay.
is because he's immune to poison.
All right, I'll call him back and let either like Jonah or Blackwind take a look at the liquid that was left on him to see if they can determine that it's poison.
It's. I mean, you can make a quick nature check, sure.
Definitely.
Whichever one wants to
not-
do it with advantage if you're both looking, or you can make them
Sure. I will
separately. It's up
assist.
to you.
I will assist Blackwind in identifying this as poison.
That would have been nice on the.
Wow, you are on fire tonight.
Except for my, I'm a tracker. I can't track.
Yeah, these are definitely poisonous, venomous barbs. I guess technically venomous is the word because poison is when you eat it. But they're venomous barbs, and they seem to have rapidly, as soon as they're exposed to air, seem to have rapidly lost its potency. So it's probably a fast-acting, like damaging, like neurotoxin, kind of like wasp venom. It looks like probably very painful. And very dangerous to living creatures. But you did notice, however, based on Gerald's movements, that as long as he was moving slowly until he effed up, they didn't seem to react to very slow movement. It was when he kind of stumbled that it lashed out.
How far do we have to go to be out of range of these things?
You don't
Roughly
know.
10 feet.
It goes about 10. It goes like 10, 15 feet down and the kind of curves off to the right. You don't know how long this tunnel actually is.
So sneak movement is slow enough or slower?
Not
It's more about if you can maintain your footing. Because
Yeah,
Gerald was moving slowly, but then slipped.
Yeah, as long as you're
Oh,
moving
right.
slowly, yeah, but it's a matter of like a dexterity. It would be a
Maybe I
dexterity
could
check.
guide you guys a
essentially.
little bit, like give you directions from the back.
Hmm?
Like,
I said
like,
saving
no,
throw,
don't
but I
step
meant
to get there.
it should have just been a check. I don't know why I said saving throw earlier. By the way, it's just it's a
Aw.
dexterity check. It didn't make a difference either way for Gerald. He's not proficient in
That's
saving
for
throws.
me.
I rolled the check, didn't I? No, I rolled a save. It's the same.
I would say you could use acrobatics too. By the way, if you're proficient.
Okay, I am.
Well, I guess.
I mean, I can go first.
Sure, I
Alright.
guess. Because you're probably the most sneaky of us right now.
I will.
Hopefully.
I'll try to literally guide him
Sure.
from the back.
Give him a
with
neck
advice on
rub.
Where to step.
All right.
Okay. So Aylin's gonna go. So give me a dexterity acrobatics if you're proficient, and a D4.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
Jesus.
What is up with him?
Give me
I
that.
like it.
Give me that max.
Give me that 4.
Aw.
We need to get as many games
Only
in
a
this week as
27.
possible. before
I-
we
I-
update
I-
whatever the
Yeah, what are you guys
random
doing
roll-
tomorrow?
I just imagine Jonah's like guiding you, and it's like, I got it, Jonah, I got it.
Put your foot down. Yeah.
Aylin, you move through like sure-footed, not a problem, kind of steady and slow, not twitching, and you easily make it up to the bend. It takes a bend, goes about 15 feet beyond as soon as you hit that like 10-foot, like where the bend is. You can see that it kind of like bends to the right and then goes straight about 15 feet and seems to open up. It's not a long tunnel. And you can see beyond. There seems to be just kind of like a wider open like path that has like numerous mushrooms, kind of a bluish gray color, growing in big bunches and looks like swampy pools of water. But you don't see any movement or anything in there.
Okay, I would look back to, if it's Jonah. Jonah's probably the first person I see. If he's kind of helping me out, I would just kind of like mimic the bend and then opening it up just to communicate that it's just the one bend and that's it.
Yeah, I would pass that on.
And then I would go through, continue.
Okay. It's just only a single check to make it through the tunnel.
Okay.
So you can easily communicate that and make it to the other end. So you kind of step out of the tunnel. And yeah, you're in this kind of like wider. It almost feels like a hallway. Like you can see off to your right and left, probably about 20 feet in either direction. There's like this wall of brambles that kind of encloses this space. And then there's like big batches of like almost like cattails and like ferns and stuff. It's a very swampy environment, but there is a path that's got like wooden. You can see now that you're in the room, although it's quite dark. There's just like streams of light kind of coming through like the cracks in the roof. So it's like, I would say it's dim light. So you got a -5 to perception unless you've got low light vision. And yeah, these big blue-green mushrooms, and you can see as well that there seems to be like there's life in here. There's insects buzzing around and like clouds. They don't come near you, thankfully, for the salve. Clouds of these black and red insects that kind of swarm around, and then there's small amphibians and what looks like small silvery eels that are only about like a foot long, kind of in small schools in the water that kind of flit around.
Do the vines continue around like the walls of this grove, or is it just the tunnel coming in?
It seems to be just in that tunnel.
Okay, then once I'm out, I would kind of step to the side and then just like basically press up against the vegetation of the grove, just to kind of make myself inconspicuous.
Sure. Okay, so Aelin has passed out of view. What are the rest of you guys going to do?
I'm going to lean down to Archie, and I'm going to open my hand and give her the potion. And I'll say, on second thought, I really feel a bit more comfortable if you took it.
Not bad.
Well,
I'm wondering if I were to get on Gerald's back and he just like punched out as he went to like, so the vines would just hit his arms as a distraction, if I could make it through without being hit.
You could certainly try.
I say do it. Nothing bad can happen.
You tell me this idea, and I say, I really think that you should take this potion.
Yes. Meanwhile, Jonah's like, no, do it. Do both. I don't care. Do it.
I guess I could take the potion and test it out, because if it works, I could send him back and Jonah could ride him as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's okay if you do it, but I'm okay.
I was like, I was wondering if it was like, as a distraction method, if it would only hit one at a time, but probably not. It would probably. Archie's probably. Seeing how it lashed out at Baz, did it just hit the piece that came really close, or did it like lash out like in a big area to hit him?
I mean, it lashed out with several small vines.
I think this is a bad idea. I think you will get in the way, and it doesn't care.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's like a carpet attack.
But I think it would be funny to see.
Think of the glory in the stories.
Wadumu was like, I go next, and he kind of walks through. He does it carefully because he doesn't want to get stung.
I'd guide him.
Sure. He takes a. Okay. So he walks through. He gets about halfway through. And one of the vines like lashes out and pricks him, and he's like, and he yelps, and he's like, ah, Metabo! And then he kind of shrugs, looks back at you, and keeps going. Grunts are immune to poison.
I will drink the potion of poison resistance.
Okay, for the next hour, you have poison resistance. I'll add that to.
And then.
And the vines cover everything up the entire wall, right?
Yeah, it's like an archway.
Yeah, I'm just making
sure.
So
they're on the roof and the walls. Like it's grown in it.
Everywhere.
I will slowly move through with Gerald in front of me.
I will give her guidance on where to go.
Okay, give me a dexterity. You can use acrobatics if you're proficient.
I am not.
Okay.
I am definitely not.
And
Okay,
Gerald,
so
you don't
sorry.
even have to roll for because he's immune to poison anyways. So
It's a dex check.
that's a dexterity check. Yes, should have been a save. I said save earlier, but
+4.
Oy, 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 oy. 10.
Archie, you get about halfway before you stumble slightly, and one of them lashes out quickly and pricks you. Pink. So it's literally like a pin prick, or like a bee sting. And it you feel like a lance of pain. But you actually take no damage because of the resistance, because I rolled 1. So yeah, you feel the prick, but it immediately like goes numb, and you're not sure if that's you're not sure if that's
Is that a
natural.
good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, it doesn't go like numb. It like cools. Like you feel the prick. You feel like a lance of pain, and then immediately cools off and is gone. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you're able to move the rest of the way through without incident.
Cool. Thank
Um,
you.
This is working out really well so far.
Who's going after Archie? I mean Gerald,
Yeah.
but
Blackwind?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
All right.
Blackman.
I'll guide him.
So dexterity, guidance, and do you have acrobatics? I don't know. Do you?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm a leaf on the wind, though.
All right.
Leaf on the wind. Oh,
That was almost a 1.
You got a D4.
hey, 11.
11. 11 is the
Fail.
target number. You succeed.
Yay! Just made it.
It's literally a matter of just walking slowly through. So it's a DC 11. Yes, Archie, you
don't
missed
know
it by
slow.
1.
I don't do slow.
So yeah, you
Barely.
you move slow, and you see the vines like partway through. You see the vines kind of twitch a bit, but then you're like, oh god. Okay, you're good. You make it through. Archie.
Yeah.
You take 3 points of poison damage. Sorry, 2 points of poison damage.
Bart.
As the wound kind of like flares up again.
Ow.
But again, it immediately cools off. And then you see like the inflammation where you got pricked seems to recede and go down.
So it was a couple of rounds.
Seems so.
You're fine.
So
Baz?
Baz oh yeah, Jonah's guiding, so he's got to go last then, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I wanted to say if you'd like me to maybe carry you and shield you,
No,
I could probably
I can-
cover you completely.
I understand that. I'm pretty nimble on my feet, and this way I can give you directions on where to go.
Well, I figured maybe this way I could just only have your eyes and mouth exposed, and then you could tell me where to go.
I think being back here, I can get a little bit. I can tell if the vines are moving or not. A little bit fire reveal.
Well, fair enough. Okay. I will.
But I appreciate the offer, good friend.
I'm going to move through, and I will use my inspiration to
Okay.
do so even more deftly than I feel like I normally would.
With advantage. And a D4. Yeah, nice.
Oh, good thing.
Good thing. Yeah, I rolled a 4. Okay, Baz, yeah, you take a deep breath, move through, even with your heavy frame, so you're just squeezing by, but you do so slowly enough that you're able to get through without issue and emerge the other side, leaving just Jonah.
All right.
Just so you know, Jonah, you have advantage because you are a small creature on this.
Oh,
Nice.
excellent. Even better. And I think, seeing how everybody where people made their mistakes, I will use that information to guide my own trip.
Okay. I thought about giving Baz disadvantage, but then I thought, no, he doesn't he's not actually a large creature.
Yeah.
So
He's just big on the medium side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonah, you're
Big
able to
bones.
move through. Being small, you're further away from the walls, and you're nimble. You're easily able, especially after watching like 6 people do it before you. You're able to move through no problem and emerge from the other side, where your party has gathered around in this kind of like swampy, muddy path. It's got like these wooden like slats that kind of form this like rickety path through the mushrooms.
And Corey, I would have accepted it.
Okay.
Even though mechanically, I shouldn't have it. I think for the sake of the narrative, the fact that I am a big dude who isn't really good on his moving nimbly, I would have accepted disadvantage. So.
It's kind
Okay.
of playing itself out as that already. Like they just like see a big guy, they're like, attack him. Get the big one.
All right. So you guys have made it through the tangled turn.
I want to watch the middle, see if I see any signs of life.
Okay. You can't see very far in the dim light.
No.
But you don't see any movement. However,
I see a lot of dice rolling.
Aelin and Blackwind, both of you hear what sounds to be like at first, I mean, it's kind of like prevalent around you, this kind of like croaking sound of like frogs and amphibians. But you notice, you hear off in the distance what sounds to be this croaking that's a bit louder and in strange cadence with the rest of it. And well, while you can't understand it, you recognize it as very similar to when Wadumu was talking in Grung to Archie.
Mm.
And it sounds like several creatures kind of croaking back and forth. The rest of you can't pick that out from like the noise, essentially.
Does he hear it himself? Does he seem to pick it up?
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I should roll for him.
If not, I tell him I
he
hear
does.
people.
Yeah, Wadumu kind of like cocks his head and listens, and he's like, oh, bad
Is
grungs.
this bad?
Bad grungs here. He's like,
Yeah.
and then he kind of like listens for a moment, and he's like, bad grungs creating don't know what this is. Boom juice?
Boom juice.
That's the wanderlust mixed with the fungus.
Yeah.
Oh, with the grung.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they are
That's
blowing
what
shit
we're
up on
after.
purpose?
Do you know where are they coming from?
And he kind of points, and he kind of actually like looks through. He doesn't seem to be affected by like the dim light in here, at least not as much as some of you, or all of you. Do you all have low light vision? I think you do.
Except for Baz.
Except for Baz. Okay. So the rest of you, like most of you guys, can see at least was it 60 feet? Yeah. 60 feet, pretty good. Baz, you're having difficulty picking things out, even within 60 feet, because it's so dark in here. But he kind of points off to like, there's like pretty like tall ferns that block a lot of your vision too, right? So he kind of points north, and he's like, Grung that way, maybe. And he kind of like debates a little bit. He's like, maybe 50 foot.
Oh shit.
Can
So we should be able to see it too.
Does it sound like there's a lot
Well,
of them?
you can't see it because of the ferns block your line of sight.
Mm.
You can see that far technically in the dim light, but because of the ferns, the path kind of winds its way through the ferns, or not the ferns. They're more like reeds, really.
Yeah.
But they're not far. Like
Probably-
basically just around this winds through these reeds, and then whatever these guys are doing is just beyond those reeds. And they, as far as Wadumu can say, he's like sort of translating, but not really translating word for word. He's just kind of like listening and like telling you what he's hearing. But he doesn't think that they've heard you. It's like,
And that is this the only place that we can go, kind of like in that general direction, right?
yeah, there's
Or is
literally
there-
no. I mean, off to the side, it's only about 20 feet wide, and off to the sides are just those thick brambles again. So this doesn't seem like a very big place.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right.
You can't quite see beyond like the reeds, where the back wall is. You can't see that far because it's too dark. But
Well, they're making a bit of ruckus, so maybe it might not be too bad to move up. I'll try to sneak up.
Yeah, let's
Right.
try and surprise them.
Sure.
I'm pretty
Okay.
good at this. When I open that door that one time,
okay, yeah, if you guys try to sneak up on them, roll a stealth check for me.
So bad.
Oof.
So bad, she says. Rolls the best.
Oh, bad.
Gerald is the most. That's the second natural 20 on a stealth check. He's the most sneaky motherfucker.
Yeah, nice. So, yeah. So you guys
Does he
do
hover?
your best to sneak up. And you find yourselves, as you round and come out of the reeds into a kind of open clearing. There's a large pond of water in the center. It's probably like 30 feet across, roughly round, of this like brackish water, or not brackish. Brackish means salty. This like brown kind of muddy water. Reeds and mud surrounding it. The walkway kind of disappears, and it's just kind of like this. It's not quite as muddy as like where the walkway was. The walkway seems to have been there to like shore up and have a place to walk through those reeds. But it's still kind of muddy ground, but it's not like sink into the mud ground surrounding this pool. And in the center of the pool, there is a kind of why can't I think of the word? Hexagonal, like looks like almost like a stone altar of some sort. And let me put you guys on some map. Stop it. Okay. It's lagging. Okay, Blackwind there. Oh no, Blackwind's there. Sorry, guys.
I like the chicken sound better than that sound.
Big chicken.
That's a very big chicken.
Archie. Who am I missing? Jonah.
Gerald.
We're doing little.
Archie.
Ciela.
Jonah. She did not come with you.
Or so we thought.
And
Did we get a close enough
Oh.
look at her to realize she wasn't a Yanti?
I mean, she looked like an elf.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we
Smart.
bandaged her wound, so
And she kept her hood down always and wouldn't look at us.
Yeah. Kind of talked with a bit of a lisp.
She's like,
She kept
"See
her
how
eyes
snake
closed the
like
whole time for some reason.
And she really emphasized her S's. Weirdo.
nothing to be
Elves.
made
Just,
aware of.
why did Blackwood randomly say throat leeches?
Because of the pool.
Got him on the
That was out of character though. So I'm like, throat leeches.
We need one of those water purification kits that people use when they're like out in the wild.
Or a life straw.
That's
Or
what I get.
boiled water.
or just charcoal.
Yeah, but
Or
charcoal just
acid.
everything.
Alcohol,
Yeah, that just
actually.
gets rid of the. But that's why you boil it. You boil it, then you run it through though.
Or alcohol. Just drink alcohol only.
You have to have alcohol.
You didn't bring alcohol? Ugh.
I didn't bring water.
What kind of expedition is this?
Or if we had my rain catcher baths,
I'm so sorry.
I will
we-
buy a new ring.
I'm sure we'll stumble on it on the way back.
I have 2 rain catchers on me.
Well, I know, like, as I say, in our party, we had, like, 3? 4?
Jonah
No,
bought,
we have.
Why are you going to save the catcher?
Jonah
They
bought 3 of them. or something.
walked away.
What else am I going to catapult?
Your pitch.
I only got one.
What's his pitch?
Oh, like me. Bow, buddy.
What?